Nothing here is black and white. Nothing here is black and
Guys, how we doing? Get this turned down. How's everybody? Swear I'm gonna set up this stream deck at some point. Make my life a lot easier. Yeah, how's everybody's week going? Smooth as always. Yeah, sorry I was late again. I haven't been preparing to go live for like 2 hours and then was still late. I don't know how I did it, but yeah, here we are. Let me just stop that music from playing in the background. Nice. Let's have a look. Posted on Facebook, posted on Instagram. I'm all over this. Marketing legend. Let's have a look. But yeah, who we got in here? Vlad, how you doing, buddy? Glad you could make it. Practically earlier than I was, I'm sure. Jamie, how you doing, mate? How you doing? Dave, did I beat you? It looks like I beat you. I don't want to brag, but I was here before you. Because you were late. I know there is such a thing as a self-inflatable light panel. So yeah, I meant to. That is actually a really good thought, actually, because I saw these. Godox have just announced these tubes, right? Kind of interesting. I totally forgot about it until you said. Yeah, I'll have to have a look at those. Yeah. Hey, Gabby, how you doing? Good to see you. How you been? It's been a while. How's the Unreal struggle going? Sick and tired of adjusting your teeth in Unreal Engine yet? Glad to hear it, man. Glad to hear it. Yeah, glad to hear it. Yeah, let's see. I haven't got the ad as well. Apparently, Godox doesn't like me. But what ads are you talking about? Like the actual tubes, or not? Because where are those? Because it was years ago. I did a shoot for Panelux, right? The guys at Panavision there, and they had this demo day, and there was like we're in this big warehouse, and it was a German company. I forget what they were called, but I'm going back 2 or 3 years now. German company had like come up with these inflatable tubes, right? And you just plug them in, and they just inflate into, and they were like, you could get them pretty big. And shock horror, I know, but Godox ripped them off. I'm as surprised as you guys are, obviously. So yeah, I don't know. Godox certainly skate close to the wind with this stuff in terms of. I'm sure they're not breaking any laws, being a Chinese company, but. I wonder how they get away with it, because like these are exactly the same. Let me just see if I can find them if you guys haven't, just in case we're not talking about the same thing. Let's have a look at what we got here. I really probably should close some of these windows at some point. I mean, probably something we could consider at least. Let's have a look. Speaking of that, did you see this thing? This is coming out from Godox. What an absolute monster, right? Look at that. 2,400 bicolor LED. Hey, so this is their new. What are they calling this mount that they've got? It better be called the G Fit, surely. Is it not? This thing's a monster. I mean, for that price, you get a couple, right? It's crazy though, right? Because like, look how like the prices jumps up so much to try and get some of this power. It's nuts. But then I guess they're kind of targeted specifically at the cinematography world when you just put an extra couple of zeros on that, right? But this is not color, right? It is just bicolor. Yeah. Monster. So 4,500 lux nearly at 10 meters. Okay. Yeah. It's pretty good. G mount. It is the G mount. Nice. Innovative G mount. It's just like the S mount, but slightly larger. Let's not get ahead of ourselves, guys. Innovative G mount. What they like. What are we doing? Oh yeah, the tubes, right? What was I looking for? So new, coming soon? I think it's coming soon. No. Or are they out already? That is a nice hard case from Godox. Like I need any more cases. Shopper collection. Are they already out? I thought they weren't out yet. Have you guys seen these as well? Like these multicolored sections on a panel? I don't know what you would. I guess you could see it being like broken up, like broken lighting. If you were trying to create, I could see it if you were. I mean, that's obviously an exaggerated version for the crazy colors, but I could see. If you were going for like dappled light or something like that, you could get a little bit like slight green hue in there, a slightly colder hue in there, to maybe even warmer as well. That would cast that across the area. That would give you more of a natural looking light. But yeah, I don't know how that would look in reality, because it's not that big, that panel. Yeah. There it is. I know somebody's probably already put a link in chat already, but like, so it's pretty crazy. You just blow it up, and it comes in a little bag, and like I was watching a video on it. I mean, I've seen the actual proper ones from the actual brand that invented them, and they are pretty cool. Yeah, really cool. They just inflate super quick. Yeah. Right. I haven't even sorted out the chat window. Look at this. Haven't got the ad as well. Oh yeah, I'm here hiding from the mountain of bloody editing. I know, right? Mount Edit is calling, Dave. But since you skew how we are doing it, just first brand deal with my 100 subscribers each. What's that, Vlad? Since you skewed how we are doing it, just got my first brand deal with my 100 subscribers YouTube channel. So, oh, okay. So, what, a company has reached out to you and was like, do you want one of our products to check out and do like review and stuff? That's cool. Yeah. How do we get this chat window going? Yeah, that's nuts, man. That's it. You're off now. Right. So at least now with that, I can see what's going on. Oh, you mean the Godox no layered ATB edge? See? I knew you guys were straight on that. I guarantee that's the one, right? Yeah, well done. Gripeny. Do you have a different name on Facebook, or are you just surfing the intertubes? I don't recognise you being here, but welcome anyway. Yeah. But yeah, you nailed it, mate. That is exactly what I was looking for. But yeah, like I said, we had this at this Panelux event years ago, and it's like this German company. They're really cool. Yeah, really cool. Yeah. Need about 6 inches to lift the box. Then one thing I thought I might. Oh, for that, yeah, for the for that big boy, yeah, that 2,400 LED thing. How much did it weigh then? Did it weigh? I guess it weighed a ton. Yeah. Exactly, Vlad. Yeah. So do you, Vlad, those panels then? Do you think that, like, what would you use those for? So what Vlad's talking about is, what was it? These things. Because it's not. I mean, what is that? 2 foot by 1 foot. I mean, it's not huge. Like, what could you really use those? I mean, I guess you like in close, you'd be able to see the difference. But if you put that, like with all those colors on it, you put that like 4 feet away from somebody, you're not. Are you really going to see any of those colors? I don't think so. It should be a bit of a mess, right? What I find interesting with that as well is that, as we know, the more colors we add to a scene, the closer we get to white light. Because that's what white light is, just made up of a rainbow. Yeah. So the more colors that we kind of layer up into a shot, the more kind of blown out, washed out the colors get. So I kind of be interested as to what we get from that as we get further away from it. But yeah, I don't know what you would use that for, other than what I was saying there about subtle differences to kind of make it feel a bit more organic, right? Hey Sam, how you doing? Are square panels from Godox collimate like circular rotor lights, or just the rotor LEDs that make a big difference? That is good question, Sam. So you've obviously been paying attention to my streams and rants in the past with regards to the idea behind collimated light, which essentially what I'm getting at there, because LED panels don't collimate the light, they kind of give the impression when they're brought in real close like that, because they're not coming from a singular point. So to answer your question there, it's really to do with the size of the panel, right? So this larger panel here will give the same kind of collimated look, as in even spread of light, as any other 2 foot by 1 foot. But the Godox, not the Godox, the Rotolite AOSs, which are like a foot across, circular ones, when they're brought in real close, absolutely beautiful. Yeah, absolutely gorgeous light. I'm kind of working on some shots here. I haven't shared these yet, but I just want to kind of show you an example. Do I have that hard drive plugged in? I do. Okay. this is what I mean. So this is an EOS above. So on this shot, there's a blue EOS above here, right? And it is just out of shot. So what that means is that you can bring it in super, super close to the subject here, right? And you just get this real quick, like immediate drop off of light because you've got it in so close. And because it's so close, it's kind of big in relation to her, right? So if she's, she's there, and it's just out of shot, like it's pretty big in relation to her. So that means you've got this mini wall of light coming down. And this is how you're able to get this very sharp drop off of light onto the body like this. Okay. I mean, this is absolutely love this, right? Now, historically, I would do this with a beauty dish because it's got that diffusion cone in there as well, so it's not having any of these nasty hotspots that softboxes and stuff have. But still, like the EOS is just immediate drop off. It's gorgeous when it's brought in like that. So that's a roundabout way of me answering your question there. It's really the size of the panel, right? So the larger the panel, the more it's going to be easier to get that even drop off of light. Yeah. So no, you don't necessarily need the rotor lights to get that. I mean, the quality that you get in terms of the color is incredible, but yeah, if you have another lighting panel of the same size, you're going to get the similar look. Yeah. Future. Yeah, right. Don't. That was it, Dave. Okay, let's have a look. Shit. Okay. It's a similar thing then, right? It's just the same process, same principle. Yeah. So as long as the LEDs are filling the inside of that, which I'm sure they are, because that's what they do in the other one. Like they're not just positioned in like a small square at the back of that. You know what I mean? So like as long as the LEDs are filling the back of that, and they're not just in here, or worse still, just two boxes here and here that fold. I doubt it does, but yeah, as long as it does that, I'm sure it'll be absolutely fine. Yeah. Different on Facebook. Oh, okay. What's your name on Facebook then? If you're in the page normally, yeah. My test panel is 16 by 16 centimeters. 16 by 16. What's that in old money, mate? Oh, it's a Diddy one. Yeah, okay. So 6 by 6 inches. Yeah, 6 by 6 inches. Okay. Yeah. Okay. 16 by 16, so 6 inch by 6 inch. It casts, if it makes half blue and half orange, you're going to have coloured edges. That would need to be real close to the subject to see that difference. But I haven't tested it. Haven't tested it, Vlad. So yeah, you obviously know a lot more about it than me. So yeah, I'd be interested to see how that gets on. Can you fill those air tubes with helium? I mean, there's nothing stopping you because it's just a little pump that you plug into it. Yeah, so I guess you could certainly put the where is it? Yeah, you could certainly put that air into it for sure. I don't know how heavy are they actually. Now you've got me thinking about that. What's the specs on this? So we got here power supply, max power, TLC, average 96. So this is the controller box. So what, this thing? Okay, yeah, interesting. And then this, so actually pretty light then. That whole thing is just over 2 kilos for that whole thing. That's pretty light. Yeah. your ads. Does anybody pay for YouTube Pro? Or is it like £6 or something? There you go. Yeah, so you got your pump there. Like, I know that was sped up, but still, I mean, it's real quick. Yeah, it is real quick. I mean, it looks like really well made. You know, like all the parts, all the connectors and that sort of stuff look really good. You know, like the way that they've thought about a lot of this in terms of how you can hang it in various ways as well. Oh, that's the box they're talking about. Okay, so this is why you don't get engineers to do a lighting video, right? How often have I said to you guys about this? This, like, you see, like, see how much light is below the eyes here. 2/3 of that light is below the eyes, so she is being lit from below here. Yeah, this is why you get this. These, you know, underneath the nose is brighter than the top and that sort of thing. So, you know, this is why you don't get engineers to make a video. They probably want to save some money rather than get an actual photographer in. It's just, yeah, I mean, this is where we would put it, right? Yeah, how not to use it. Yeah, okay. And how much is that? £800. I mean, if you were going to be using that, if you were doing a lot of interviews, say, on set and that sort of stuff, I think that's pretty reasonable for the size of that light, to be honest. Yeah, I think it's pretty good. Yeah. Can you feel it here? I think the image is just to show it can do colors. Do you reckon, Dave? Yeah, maybe you're right, man. Maybe I've just made an absolute tit of myself. Yeah, you could be right. Yeah, let's have a look. Let's have a look. That would be weird, though, right? Surely it's not. Right? It doesn't have any videos. There's no way, right? High powered. Fit needs. Panel features 8 pixels that can be controlled and mapped. So I think that's what it's talking about here. The 8 pixels, right? So the OLED panel features 8 pixels, which is boom, boom, boom. You know, 4 on top, 4 on the bottom. Yeah, that can be controlled and mapped, producing lighting effects that are either difficult or impossible to replicate with regular LED panels. Look, I mean, you know, more options is always nice, but yeah. I mean, like, you could be right, Dave. Yeah, you could be absolutely right, and it is just a fancy way of them going, look at all the colours we've got. But I think that is, yeah, different colour panels. Yeah. You sent me a DM, Wayne. Okay. 16 by 16 is kind of useless for photographing people, but I ordered LED strips and plane to make it cheap as well. Okay, yeah. See the series self-inflating Godox, Mr. Trick. Oh, that one you showed me is self-inflating. Really? Okay, that's cool. Okay. Pay-per-views, you go. Questions about it. Do you pay for YouTube, lad, or are you just using VPNs? Camping. Exactly. You know, yeah, super expensive pillow. I mean, it'd be a nice pillow. It's just nice. Yeah, it is nice. Yeah, do you just pay £6 or whatever it is? I mean, I think it's £6 here in the UK a month, and you get what, 0 ads, or you get less ads, or you only get high quality ads. Sam says it would suck to lose or forget the pumping tool and have to blow it up. Yeah, that's true, actually. Yeah, that is true. If you yeah, that's true. You would be. I guess you would definitely have like a hand pump type thing in the car. That's a good point though, Sam. Yeah, it's a good point. You'd be really buggered, wouldn't you? Yeah. Interesting product photography table, I guess. Like, yeah, true. You have that underneath. That's true. Yeah. I use VPNs to pay for YouTube in South America. Ah, eh? I like the way you think, Vlad. Okay, clever. It's like $1. What? Mate, you got to stop. You got to quit doing these photography tutorials. You got to start doing life hacks, mate. You're wasted on photography. Wasted. That's a great idea. Yeah. Now I just got to pay 10 quid a month for VPN. Yeah. It is 0 ads. Do you know what? Yeah, I think I might do it. I'm just sick and tired of it. Yeah. Okay. Can't believe you guys distracted me. Welcome, everybody joining. Everybody join late. Just doing a live stream. Do it every couple of weeks, and usually just have a chat about any new products that have come out. We're just talking about some products here, any bits in the news, and then have a look through your images that you have submitted. Okay, so where is this week's? Man, we really did get distracted. Yeah. Okay. So this is it. Yeah, this is this week's one. Nice. So yeah, pop your images in here in the share a shoot live from yesterday. I posted it on Facebook. If you want the link, wanted to share a shot, that is the place to do it. And yeah, we're just going to go through everybody's images that have been posted. Okay. Well, this is looking cool, Alan. That's nuts. Yeah. I've never shot with fire, and yeah, never done it. Or have I? No, I don't think so. Not properly like this. You know, I've had to expose for fire in the background, but not properly like that. Yeah. Okay. Some decent portraits in here as well. Nice. Anime inspired color palette. Interesting. Love it. Bit of abstract color. It's looking good, John. Good. Jamie, this is inspired, mate. And Chris, cinematic workshop paying off, loving it. Okay, got some great stuff to look at there. Yeah. So look, I know the caliber of images is super high here, but please don't let that put you off from sharing a shot. This is totally for everybody, as long as it's not black and white. You can post whatever you want. Yeah, it's good stuff, guys. Good stuff. Yeah, as always. I mean, it always is very, very high quality. Okay. Right, let's have a look. Where were we? Have a look at some bits of the news. What do we got here? We've got some bits of news there. Yeah. Okay. So Vlad says you can only control 8 zones and not individual LEDs. Yeah, true, Vlad. Yeah, that's true. You can't break it down any further. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I guess it would be interesting to have a grad, right? Maybe a grad across, because especially on a 2-foot panel, I think that could be quite cool to have a grad going across, which you could definitely do if you could adjust the LEDs. The separate LEDs. Yeah. Oh yeah, VPNs. Yeah. It's like $1. Oh yeah, premium. You gotta get rips by. I know, right? Yeah. Red lights has firelight effects. Does that count? Yeah. Have you used those effects, Sam? I mean, I guess it's only really useful if you shoot video, right? Yeah. Dave says, before I forget, I dropped you a PM with vid showing the dry ice. It's in the Immortals Facebook Messenger. Oh, in there, mate. All right. I don't think I. Okay. Can you? I don't think I can open Messenger on here without going into my personal profile. But yeah, I will try and dig it out. I take it you can't post a video anywhere else and give us a link, or you could DM me on Instagram. I should be able to open up in there without too much fuss. Yeah. Okay. Right, let's have a quick look at some of the bits and pieces of news and stuff here. Just real quick, Vlad, did you see this? Where this guy came up with this ultra black paint stuff, and he's added it to the inside of these projector lenses. So those of you maybe not sure, like some of the older lenses that you can kind of shoehorn onto your cameras, and that's like manual lenses and like projector lenses. So the old projectors that they used to have in cinema to project things and that, you can get some really cool cheap lenses. But one of the issues is that because they are like not designed to take in light, they can have a lot of flare. Right, so here you go. There's the inside of that lens, because the light is designed to go out. They weren't too worried about the inside barrel of these lenses, so they were usually silver. But what people are doing to have the light coming in, the light bounces around and you get tons of flare. Right, so what this, which I don't actually mind, but there you go. So you can see how much flare you've got in the blacks and stuff there. What he's done is he's got this specialist black paint, matte black paint, and then added. Right? Where's that VPN, Vlad? Come on. That's it. Why don't we watch 2 minutes of YouTube there before we go on ads? And whilst we're live streaming on YouTube. Bloody hell, what's it like? Anyway, yeah, I thought it was pretty interesting. And I mean, look at that. I don't actually mind how much data you've got there, though, right? And then adding the black. Look at the difference. It's pretty nuts. Yeah. Anyway, I thought I'd share that just in case anybody was working with old projector lenses. It's super niche, I know, but it kind of interested me, so I just wanted to talk about it there. Getting into copyright, bits and pieces with copyright now, and copyright's always been a major thing. Obviously, you know, all of us are protective over our work, and which makes sense. But the copyright laws are really starting to shift, in my opinion, more so than they have done in a very long time, because of AI and the inspiration behind work. Like, who owns an image? Are you allowed to copy it? How much are you allowed to copy? What percentage of an image can we copy before it becomes theft, and all that sort of thing, right? And what's going on here is a legal battle between Kat Von D and photographer Jeff Sedlick, which Sedlick took this shot of Miles Davis, I don't know, however many years ago, and then Kat Von D, who like is a famous tattooist, I think, because she did like, I don't know, what it was, like a live follow me around real TV on MTV or something like that. So like, she's kind of famous for that as a tattoo artist, and she very famously, in terms of the internet, was inspired by this image by Jeff here. And Jeff reached out to her and was like, yeah, no, that's theft, you're copying my image. And I think this lawsuit went on for, or this went on for years and years and years. I think 3 years or something like that. And Jeff was saying, look, I spent 3 years setting up this shot. Look, I'm just repeating what he said, all right? I spent 3 years setting up this shot. There's a reason for the pose, and getting Miles to do A, B, C, and D. Took me a long time to get this image. And now Kat Von D is making money from it. Now, Kat saying, I just did this tattoo for a friend, no money exchanged hands, so that was convenient. And yeah, essentially the way that it turned out is Kat Von D wins the copyright trial over Miles Davis' photo. And you think, well, why is this a big deal? Why are you even sharing this? It's kind of a big deal because I think that had this happened 5 years ago, certainly 10 years ago, I don't think she would have won this case personally, right? I think that the laws are kind of shifting with regards to what people are allowed to copy or be inspired by. What's kind of funny with this as well is that you can't even deny it. When she was sharing images on her social media of her actually copying it, right? So she like, it's literally there. She literally showed images of her copying it. And the reason this is important is because AI is copying images, but how much of it is how much of it is new and how much of it is, you know, copied, and we have to kind of come up with this percentage of I forget what it, transformative work, right? Is it a transformative work? I'm allowed to use people's images in my articles because it's transformative and it's educational and it's, you know, press, whatever, but I'm able to use those images because it's transformative work. How transformative is this? And I think the AI debates that we're seeing with a lot of images being, is it fair use, is I think we're going to see more of a shift here. What do you guys think, though? Do you think that she should have won that case, or do you think Jeff is in the right here? Do you think Jeff should have won? Like, she's obviously copying that image, and do you think that what's she going to do? She can't take it down, right? But I guess Jeff was asking for compensation. I read this the other week. There you go. The photographer had originally asked for 150 grand plus 42,000 in damages. There you go. He said he spent 3 years setting up and planning the image. I think both parties here were being very generous with the truth, in terms of Jeff saying he spent 3 years setting it up. Like, he may have contacted Miles 3 years prior, and Kat saying that she didn't exchange any money for it, and whatever. I'm sure there was a lot to be hashed out in the case, but still, people use my images all the time for tattoos, and like it's never really bothered me. It's cool, it's great, okay, yeah. On one hand, you've got, oh, Jake, that's nuts. People actually using your images and tattooing it onto their skin. Wow, that's incredible. That's nuts. That's amazing. You're just like, wow, should be so like privileged. That's one hand of it, right? That I get comments like that. And on the other side of the argument, you've got people who are going, did they ask you for that? Are they allowed to do that? Or I hope you got compensated for that, either using your image. So you've definitely got two sides of it there. If I'm being honest, when if artists reach out to me, I just had a guy today who reached out to me 2 years ago and wanted to use one of my images for one of his art pieces, and he just literally contacted me a couple of hours before I went live and was like, Jake, just finished the piece. What do you think? Like, if it's an individual piece of art like that, I'm absolutely happy for people to use my work as inspiration or a template or whatever it is. Some of them are very, very close. Others are more abstract, right? But if it's an individual piece, if the guy reached out to me and was like, Jake, I'm thinking about selling T-shirts with your images on it, I'm like, no, absolutely not. But if it's for individual artwork like this, I think it's okay personally, yeah, and it should be okay, because we start to get a little bit, it starts to get a little bit muddy. You can't use it for this, or you can't use it for that. Let's have a look what we got in the comments here. So Vlad's talking about that lens. He said, one of the things I want to do this year is an autofocus Helios. Oh, right, nice, yeah. But I would need some more money to invest in that idea. Let's wait until I get monetized on YouTube. Yeah, right, yeah. So Lars says, interesting case. People are coming with portraits, tattoo artists for decades. I agree, Lars. Yeah, absolutely. And I think, in fairness to Kat here, I think one of her major arguments in the case was, look, I think it's I think people should be able to kind of embrace this idea of wanting to have a part of their their idol, their fan, or whatever it is, to be. They've been doing it forever. You're absolutely right, Lars. Yeah, people have been doing it forever, and to kind of stop that, yeah, kind of a tricky one, because yeah, should it be stylized? Can they just bring you any photo? It is a weird one. Tattoos is a weird one. Yeah. And look, even one of the jurors here, every tattoo is unique, just like every photograph is unique. Yeah. verdict was easy. One juror told Rolling Stone, one tattoo on a person's skin is not like selling a painting. Personally, I see an enormous disconnect here. So it looks like the jurors were very pro tattoos, man. It looked pretty cut and dry for most of them. And I think that was one of the arguments as well. I think they deliberated for like a couple of hours or something and came back, and it was and it was concluded. What's interesting is that according to German copyright law, I'm pretty sure it wouldn't have been covered either by citation rules or by the so-called variation of an original. So what are you saying there, Juno? So you're saying that Jeffrey Sedlik there wouldn't have won, or he definitely would have won in Germany? What's interesting is that according to German copyright law, I'm pretty sure it wouldn't have been covered. So I'm guessing what you're saying there is that Jeff wouldn't have won with this. Yeah, is that what you're saying? It's just like it just wouldn't have even got as far as taking it to court. Okay. There was ever a case in Germany, probably Andy Engel would know first. But after 5 or 10 years, it'd be washed out and savage, man, savage. You could demand they put the URL and contact the tattoos. Nice. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just like a website at the bottom has gold. Yeah, can you imagine? Get your client back in. Yeah, brilliant. So Dave says, interesting. I've just had a tattooist do one of my images onto me. Okay, cool. It's an image of the tattooist from a pole shoot I did with her. Should I zoom myself on her? Right? Yeah. Okay. Pay your exposure, exactly, right? It better be real good exposure. Yeah. I mean, even the small group of us here have already stumbled across the issue with copyright, and that's that it's, the laws are different in the US, in the UK, in Germany, places like Turkey and China. I mean, I told you this before, but I've got like a website, Pixie it's called, that goes around and finds my images being used in the hope that Nike is foolish enough to ever use one of my images one day without my permission. But like China, right? I mean, there is literally a website dedicated to them using my images on mugs and t-shirts and mouse mats and all that sort of stuff. It's loads of my images on there. I mean, I can't do anything about it. It's China, right? It's just like the copyright Wild West. You got zero rights. So like, I find it kind of odd though, right? Because China can make it, and then you can then buy that t-shirt out, and then export it. Like, it gets really confusing, right? So I mean, it's legal, or i.e. you can't stop them from using your image, but then they can still export it outside. Yeah, it seems like a real grey area to me. Yeah. I think that Cat would have won probably. So you're saying Cat would have won just flat out? Interesting, Janos. Okay, interesting. All right. Okay. Wow. All right. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. Drives bit linked to both. Oh, okay. Gotcha, Dave. I'll have a look at that later. Thank you. Yeah. Remind me. Bet not many boobs on that, Dave. Trusting you. And maybe if it was traced, I'd be absolutely. If it was traced, I reckon it was traced though, don't you, Sam? I mean that's how they normally do tattoos, right? They have it traced. I'd absolutely bothered, but if it was inspired and they got it pretty close, I'd be impressed. Wouldn't be cool to be credited though. Yeah. I mean, that's, yeah. I mean, honestly, I get emails and messages all the time from people wanting to, use images for one thing or another. And most of the time, I'm okay with it. There was only one issue. There was a designer, and at the time when he reached out, this was years ago. At the time when he reached out, And he was like, I want to do this. I was like, okay, yeah, cool. I mean, yeah, sounds fine. Make sure you send me it afterwards. Mainly because I want to be interested, not because I need to sign it off or anything. I just, I enjoy seeing what other people are doing. And he sent it to me. I was like, okay, cool. Because he was a designer, it was more of a distortion of the photo rather than like a painter or something like that, which is actually, doing something else. And then he ended up kind of selling those distortions on his website and that sort of stuff. And it's like, okay, now we're getting real close to cutting the line, right? You've taken a photograph, you've distorted it, granted, but you can still clearly see that it's my image, and now you are kind of profiting from that. It does get very, very hazy. In my hometown, I found someone selling magnets with one of my photos stolen from Wikipedia. What? What? That is so obscure, man. In my hometown, I found someone selling magnets with one of my photos stolen from Wikipedia, stolen for Wikipedia. So Wikipedia used your image, right? Which is fair use because they're, educational. And then somebody stole the image off of Wikipedia and then put it on magnet. Nice. So Jamie says Z-Motion had a picture of hers made into a painting completely copied apart from it was flipped. I remember this court case, Jamie. Yeah, it was a big court case, yeah. Painting went on to win an art competition with a huge cash prize. I did not know that. Cash prize. She sued, got thrown out. I remember that, Jamie. I do remember that. Yeah, I do remember that. And that's what I mean, right? I mean, that wasn't that many years ago. And in my opinion, that's way more cut and dry than this is. Because let's have a look. Let me just see if I can find that. What was it? Z-Motion copied painting, I guess. Like, Reddit. Oh my god. Oof. Oh. This computer just starts shutting down. Yeah, from Astrophotography, artist Z-Motion's work plagiarized by a Luxembourg art student who won prizes. Titles of recognition from Luxembourg royalty without giving credit to author. Christ, she didn't even credit Z-Motion either. Student emails artist to say this was not plagiarism but transformative original on the right. So pretty, like, do you know what I mean? Come on. I mean, it's not even, I mean, it's just traced, right? I mean, like, even the rose and, the extra petals and, I mean, she's added an earring here. I think that is a very hard sell in terms of transformative. Yeah, that's nuts. That is crazy. Yeah, I mean, that's even closer than my brain remembers it being. Yeah, it's nuts. Yeah, it's nuts. It's just, I mean, it's yeah. Like I'm saying, the fact that the art student won, because Z-Motion has been around for a very long time, and she has been fighting the good fight in terms of AI and copyright. She's very vocal about her, thoughts on how the AI bots use images, especially her images. Yeah, she's been very, very, very vocal on that. Yeah. I've had a Chinese company use my photos to advertise their products. So yeah, it sucks. Yeah, I know, Gripes. I mean, it is. They have. So it's happened with lighting companies, who they've got like LED products, right, and they all creep into Amazon, and then like as soon as it's on Amazon, this like then it's like you're done, in terms, I mean I say you're done, I mean really it's just a cease and desist type thing, and they go, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't realize, and they just take them down. I mean, there's no point in going after them, like, you'll never win. But yeah, when those things start coming out into more international companies like Amazon and that sort of stuff, it's pretty they are pretty quick to close it down. Usually it's not even traced, but thermotransferred. Thermotransferred? What the hell, man? Jesus. What the hell is thermotransferring? I haven't, like, that just literally just cut out. The tracing is too much hard work. I can't even be bothered to trace it. It's just too much effort. That's just nuts. Yeah. I'm okay. I've got 2 of my images tattooed on me. Nice. Okay. Yeah, you're fine with it, mate. Yeah. That says I sent one of my images to Wiki of a local landmark. Nice. Okay. Won a Wiki contest. Oh, cool. Okay, with it, and got like a T-shirt or something nice. And the guy just ripped the photo of Wiki and sold magnets. Yeah. It's. I mean, I'm hoping that the newer generation will have a slightly deeper understanding of the internet, and I think there is a lot of people living in ignorance or claiming ignorance when it comes to images online and usage. So Joe says, well, in an art competition you have to sign documents that you own all the copyrights, and that's simply not the case here. How did this win her case? Again, I presume, like, I mean, it is Luxembourg, right? So whether the case, whether she couldn't be, whether the rules are different, don't know. I mean, it seems so blatant to me. Yeah. So obvious, no, I know, right? It's not just like, maybe it's the same. Yeah, would have been way funnier if there were watermarks on the painting. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Copied from a photo. Gotcha. Yeah, we had a shop locally was taking images from a local Facebook group and selling prints. One of the dogs approached him, and the guy pulled a hammer. When he says pull the hammer, is this like you walk into my shop and rather than a sawn-off shotgun under the counter, he's just got like a Stanley hammer? Like, is that what you mean, pull the hammer? Or turns out the whole stock was ripped from the Facebook group. Really, the whole thing? Oh my god. Yeah. Like Skills Night. Right, yeah, so like the the crosses, on AI landscape photos. Yeah, that's pretty cringe, man. Yeah. Silently judging one Reddit comment. I am not going on Reddit, Vlad. Like, this is, I don't even know how I am actually logged in here on Chrome, but I can't. Yeah, it's too scary for my old mind. Yeah. Well remembered on this though, Jamie. I think whoever brought this up, because this is a classic one. I remember this at the time. Yeah. When was this? It was 2 years ago. Okay. Look, I'm telling you, this is gonna be like, these people winning these cases is gonna be more common. It's gonna be more common in my opinion. So, Cat winning this. Like I said, 10 years ago, I think, Z-Motion would have won. 10 years ago, I think Jeff would have won. I think it's a change in the times, right? So this was another one kind of related here. So what we've got here is Goldsmith took this photo, and then Warhol famously, used it, right, all those years ago. And again, I think that, so what was kind of weird about this one, to my knowledge, is that the Warhol estate or whatever actually caused a preemptive strike. Their words. So they were actually like, holy shit, they're obviously going through their catalogue of images that Warhol had made, and they've gone, look, we better get ahead of this if any of these photographers start to come out in the woodwork and go, hang on a minute, you're selling these images for millions, and you've blatantly used my photo, right? So this was a preemptive strike from the Warhol estate or whatever it was, and this has been going on for years and years and years. And it turned out that Goldsmith won, but like the total cost of defending her intellectual rights added up to $2.5 million. So, she still had to sell her house and all that sort of stuff. So it's just nuts. So you can still win, right? Bearing in mind that she didn't even start the court case. The Warhol Estate Foundation, went against her, she's like wins years later and then still has a bill of 2.5. I mean, what a mess, man! What an absolute mess. So yeah, like it is. There is no cut and dry with these cases. It's certainly not like, well, obviously used your image, and then, you know, is there enough of a difference here? What I find odd is the fact that she won and the others didn't, right? Because this is way more transformative than the other two cases we've just looked at. I mean, yeah, it's crazy. I don't know how long ago this case is. I mean, it says 23 up there, whether this is just an old article talking about it. But yeah. It is the Wild West out there for sure in terms of copyright, and it's only going to get worse with the AI stuff that's been going on. Yeah. Remember that violet copies in school back then. That violet copies. What's that? You're sleeping on a huge audience on Reddit. That is one word for them, Vlad. Yeah, there are groups on there that talk about me and me being just cutthroat and ruthless with my feedback with you guys, like very, very ruthless and unforgiving and just overly harsh feedback that I'm doing on these feedback sessions. So I am mindful when I'm giving feedback to you guys to try and make sure that it is the shit sandwich of something nice, feedback, and then end on something nice. I try and be as positive whilst giving feedback as I can, but there are still Reddit groups in there going, this man is out of control. It's just vicious. Yeah. I guess Jack's tucked in. For a link, there's thermal transfer paper, a bit like carbon copy paper. Actually, it was used in the 80s. Oh, that stuff. Yeah, okay. Yeah. I know what you mean now. Yeah. Seriously, I always thought you were soft as well. I mean, look, I worked in a busy studio for years, and you'd have to. It was like part of my job was training a lot of new people. So feedback and one-to-ones, monthly one-to-ones was part of the job. So I'm not unfamiliar when it comes to addressing images and giving feedback to people. But yeah, I mean, I agree with you, Vlad. Yeah, I don't think I can assure you I'm not being harsh. In fact, I am more harsh with those of you that have had private one-to-ones with me online. I am definitely far harsher on you guys compared to like newer people just coming in. But yeah. I'm certainly, and I only keep it to like one piece of feedback as well. That's kind of, I don't want to go like, here's a list of 10 things that you really need to do to this image, which is what I could do, but I tend to just try and keep it to just like one or two things. Yeah. If AI gets good enough to replicate politicians convincingly without the obvious AI errors like limbs, naughty skin, laws will turn swiftly. Well, that's it, right? I mean, because that was the thing with Midjourney a couple of years ago. They stopped the free account because people were just starting up free accounts and then creating derogatory images of politicians, like all that stuff with Trump being arrested and dragged along the street and all that sort of stuff was just created in Midjourney with free accounts. So yeah, I mean, you are right, and that's the thing with visual medium like this, especially it's always been my concern with the AI and imagery, especially when it comes to the press. I mean, like press with their images, like they can't remove like a dirty carrier bag in the corner of an image, right? I mean, they can kind of crop it out, but they can't adjust it. And there's also limits on what they can do in terms of brightness and that sort of stuff, or desaturation, or like you've got to be like real careful with what they're doing. It can be color or it can be black and white, but you can't really add sentiment with things that you're doing with press images. And then once we talk about AI and then them using those images for press, it's you can't unsee this image, this mental image of like Trump being dragged down the street, under the arms by the police, right? It's that's what semiotics is as well, right? We see all these images, you can't unsee them. So I think it's extremely powerful. Yeah. to really have to baby harder on my images. I mean, look, I mean, I'll your images don't need much critique, Vlad. You know that, yeah, it's fine, yeah. You're too kind in photo reviews and YouTube and Facebook. I mean, look, I'm trying to be positive for people. Yeah. Everybody's everybody's in a different position on their journey. Plus, for those of you that share images, I don't know. Like, I don't think you appreciate how brave you are for putting your images out there. Like, 90% of people don't have the nerve to share their work and then open themselves up for critique, right? It's so I gotta respect people for doing that, because it's certainly not everybody is willing to do that, and I don't blame them. Yeah. You make me feel better than a photographer than I am. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, that's positive. That's positive to get you out there. There's absolutely no point in crushing you to the point that you're just like, I don't want to ever pick up a camera again. I've certainly been on the receiving end of those feedback sessions in my youth, and that's rough. It's rough. Yeah. That's right, Vlad. I remember that. Yeah, that recent one with because Trump posted it himself, right? Of him praying with 6 fingers. I remember that. Yeah, that was recently. Yeah. Posted black and white image. Soft maybe. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. So moving on from that for a moment, then, one thing that caught my eye, and I think one of you guys, especially on Facebook, mentioned it as well in one of the posts this week, but Pat McGrath here, incredibly famous makeup artist, incredible makeup artist, kind of broke the, I know this term gets kind of bounded around, but kind of broke the internet when she shared the video of what she was doing at the SS24 fashion show here with her makeup, right? And what I want you to pay attention to here is what's going on with the skin, right? This is video as well. This is not retouched. So, I mean, it's absolutely nuts. Look at that. That is crazy. Remember, this is video. This is not retouched. This is just like iPhone or something like that. So that shine on the skin. And this, I think my wife showed it to me as like, check this out. But it's absolutely incredible what that is doing there. And it kind of set me off. Bearing in mind, this is what it looks like when you actually remove that makeup. Yeah. So it kind of set me off into, okay, I mean, I would love to shoot that. That would be nuts to photograph that. Would be incredible. Apart from the fact that that's video, that's not edited already. It's just crazy. So there was a couple of other makeup artists and that sort of thing that had a go at trying to replicate it, and there was a little bit of like makeup artists and people trying to work out what she was doing and that sort of thing. And a lot of people kind of came close to it, and Pat at the time was like, look, I'll tell you, just wait. Right. But again, like this is pretty close. It's gorgeous as well. I mean, this is a phenomenal makeup artist. Absolutely incredible. Microsoft. Check her out. She's got some nut stuff. And then this lady here, this is Erin Parsons' makeup. She then posted this one saying that, and she'd done all this like background checking, so she's wearing it here. So she was doing all this kind of sleuthing, like Sherlock Holmes type stuff. She was getting messages from like some of the models on the day, getting images from the day, talking about trying to work out what it was. And other people, like when there was one, I think it was like somebody or model or something like that, was saying, oh yeah, it was weird when it was coming out because it was looking like somebody was spraying me with Listerine, and it was the airbrush, the mix, and that sort of stuff. Yeah, there you go. Color of mix looked a bit like Listerine mouthwash. Yeah. So it's just kind of interested in how it kind of, and this is what it ended up being, right? Was this cucumber face mask, and what was kind of weird about it is that that's how it comes out, right? And what Pat had done was she had kind of just watered this down, kind of managed to mix it and water it down into this, and then airbrush it on, right? So that looks liquidy, right? But in a second, you'll see that she actually touches her face. That's dry. That's bone dry on her face there. She just like touches it. That it looks wet. It's nuts. So it's just so. This is what was kind of so impressive about it, was that it stays like that. So you can change whatever, you can do stuff, that sort of thing. Like, which was ideal for like fashion shows. Look, that's just crazy. That is just on there like this coat, like this actual skin on top. It's nuts, right? And then kind of, I think coming back kind of full circle, I think Pat then shared this one, and again like shows the product actually being used. There you go. You saw the cucumber face mask, and you guys are probably sat there going, Jake, like tuned into a photography live stream here. What the hell are you doing? But this is if you're interested in editorial work or even anything fashion and stuff like that, you really should have a weather eye on kind of what's going on out there in terms of the fashion world and what's kicking off, because this is that is like so cool. I think I would just love to work with makeup artists that could do that. I mean, there's a lot of time involved, because that takes, I think, like 5 to 10 layers of airbrushing, right? So she's spraying on that watered down face mask, and it's watered down, and then you've got to airbrush it on. And I think some of them were saying it was like 5 layers, 10 layers. So it takes a long time to do. But once it's done, like, it looks absolutely incredible. Yeah. Yeah, it's nuts. Yeah. Yeah. So fair play to her, man. Yeah. Fair play. And I do find it kind of fascinating that this kind of happens in these industries where it's like this kind of, people are still doing something new, still coming up with new ideas, and people say it to me, oh Jake, you got to come up with something new and that sort of stuff, and it's like, yeah, that's the job. You have to reinvent the wheel every couple of months, few months, and that sort of thing, and there are people who are able to consistently just come up with something new each time. In makeup, I mean, Christ, there's millions of people who do makeup, and then somebody will come along, and again, this Pat lady just absolutely breaks out and does something new once again, and they're all kind of, all these women trying to work it out, and men trying to work out how it was done, sharing ideas. Clever, really. Yeah, it's fascinating to kind of see it unfold like that, unfold like that. Yeah, but absolutely beautiful. Yeah, crazy. Yeah, really cool. Really cool. Yeah. The fact that it's dry, that you can just put your hand on it. Like when I saw that, I was like, what on earth? It's just so shiny for it to be bone dry. It is nuts. Yeah. Yeah, really cool. Yeah. Let's have a look what we got here. I mean, at least if I post my images here, it gets a few pairs of eyes on them. I'm like, yeah. Instagram is very hit and miss. Yeah, you're shooting someone with that kind of makeup, AI looking images. I mean, it's interesting you say that about the AI, but yeah, no, the AI did look like that for a while. You're not wrong, Vlad. Yeah, I mean, it's come out of that to be more realistic now. But yeah, I would love to. Yeah. I have kind of chatted to a couple of makeup artists. Tried to put the feelers out there. All of them that I messaged had already heard of this and was sort of intrigued about it. But the airbrushing is not something that many modern makeup artists still do. So I think that's kind of like one of those lost arts to a certain extent. Yeah. New skin retouch edit and makeup looks like that. I know. It's just, yeah. Can you imagine? Now, granted, their makeup is basically a new skin underneath, and then you have that, and the fact that the airbrushing is just evening out any imperfections to make it look like you've just been wrapped in plastic. It's nuts. Yeah. Posted that in a Facebook group. You get sick of overdone. That's so true, Dave. Yeah, it is so true. That's exactly what you would get. Yeah, it is. Yeah, plastic skin. Yeah. That's brilliant. I want to do it now. I'll be coming back to the live stream. Check this out again because I've been playing out a session in my mind where I tried to do crossover with my model and porcelain doll. I mean that porcelain doll look, and she does do it with a lot of the pale skins like here and that sort of stuff as well. It is just perfect for it, right? I mean, professional model skin is damn near flawless anyway. You know, like agency models, like their skin is just incredible to begin with. So yeah, just makes it super easy. I think the profile. Oh, sorry, mate. Yeah, God, that's really bad of me. Yeah. This makeup artist as well does some nutty stuff. Yeah. Which is kind of what kind of got me onto it, because she was trying it. I saw her trying it. I was like, oh, that's kind of, you know, cause I think a lot of makeup artists were putting out their kind of version of it, how close we can get to it, sort of thing. Yeah, and that's what kind of put me onto it. Yeah. And then this lady as well. She's got some pretty cool stuff. Makeup artists, man, they're just huge, aren't they? It's nuts. Yeah, that's crazy. She does more of the retro style by the looks of it, which is kind of cool. Yeah, good stuff. Yeah. You keep an eye on some of these makeup artists as well. Because what you'll also find is makeup artists will inadvertently share a lot more of the BTS than they're supposed to. So it is always worth following a few decent makeup artists to see if they share more of the set. Yeah. But certainly way more than the photographer does. Put it like that. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Right. So I just wanted to chat about that. I thought that was pretty interesting. Keep an eye on that. It's pretty cool. If anybody finds a makeup artist willing to try that out, let me know. I would always be down to photograph that and then get shouted out on Facebook for over retouching my shots. I'm just going to follow up on a couple of last bits here before we crack on with the CCing. A very good friend of mine, Deca Photography, sent me this, which is Google researched Lumiere, right? A space-time diffusion model for video generation. Right? So, text to video. So we've been chatting about the Midjourney stuff and the prompts that we get with Midjourney and that sort of thing. So what this is doing is just making videos from prompts as well, right? So it says hover over the video to see the prompt here. So sailing boat, sailing on sunny day in a mountain lake. Now bearing in mind, this is all AI generated video. So it's not using images, it's not doing anything like that. It's just creating video from your prompt. Okay, so we got here, young couple walking in heavy rain. So just a video from a prompt. Panda eating bamboo on a rock. Yeah. And some of these are a little bit, there's definitely some weird parallax going on in a couple of these, but for the most part, flying through temple in ruins. We've got camera moving through dry grass in autumn morning. I mean, like, all of this is all just created from just a few words, right? Now you think, okay, it's not. I mean, you can certainly tell that it's looking a bit sketchy there, Jake. I don't know if you guys were kind of aware of this 18 months ago, but this is night and day compared to the text prompts to video. A year ago, maybe 18 months ago at least, it was horrendous, whereas this is really good. This is really good. And, you go, well, quality is pretty ropey, pretty sketchy, but we've already spoken about in the past about those programs that upscale AI images, like really, really high quality as well. And, video is just frames, right? It's just stills. So it's certainly very, very possible for you to upscale these videos. So kind of interesting, yeah. Kind of interesting to see how that's coming. So this is image to video. So what they're doing here is they are taking an inspiration image and then you prompt it, right? So a girl winking and smiling, you send them this famous painting. Okay, man smiling and waving. Not at all terrifying. Soldiers raising United States flag on a windy day. So this is kind of interesting, and clearly Google is being careful with the images that it's using here because it has to be copyright free or copyright expired and that sort of stuff. But I find it interesting the kind of prompts that you give it. So soldiers raising United States flag on a windy day. So all you're really doing is explaining what's going on in the image for it to be animated. It's kind of nuts, right? So, you could take any of your images and do the same thing, right? As any images that you've taken and kind of get them animated. So this is not just some random, just create brand new video. I mean, as if the internet isn't clogged with mindless crap already. Now we can animate all of the photographs that we've taken. So it's kind of cool. I haven't actually tried this yet, but certainly intriguing stuff. Yeah. It's funny that almost all in slow mo because that's been a trend on stock such a while. Oh, interesting to know. So yeah, I suppose it is kind of like that, isn't it? Yeah, it's got that kind of dreamy quality. Yeah. Most air videos usually have inconsistent frames. A person's face looks different in many of the frames. Yeah, that's right. On some of these people's faces, the eyes and stuff, right? Where was it? Even like here, right? The eyes look creepy, and the eyes kind of are on a different timeline to the rest of the face. Yeah. The beer pouring in a glass, that would insult it. I did look at that beer and go, what on earth are they doing with that? Yeah. Where is that? Oh, it's up here, isn't it? Yeah, it's up here. Yeah. Great AI work, especially video, takes a lot of work and adjustment in my experience. I mean, yeah, I haven't tried this. But if the image to video stuff is what kind of caught my attention, because it's always been like, what would your images look like if there was a little bit of movement in there? Years ago there was. Oh, I forget what they're called as a term for them, but you could have like a photograph of a girl like sat there. Let's just say that she had a cup of tea or smoking a cigarette, right? And there would just be the smoke moving, right, or steam rising. So the rest of the image would be still. I forget what they were called, but they were really popular for like a fraction of a second online, and then they kind of died off. But yeah, I think animating your images is something that would be interesting for sure. Yeah. What in there? Cinemagraphs. Thank you, Grabs. Yeah, well done. Yeah, cinemagraphs. That's exactly well done. Yeah. Motion deep on steroids, right? Yeah. So this is this was kind of interesting as well, and this was. Like we talk about style in photography, right? And where it gets a little bit hazy in terms of copying or inspired by somebody has a personal style and that sort of stuff. So this is, and I've actually seen other examples of this, but this was kind of interesting. So stylized generation, using a single reference image, Lumiere can generate videos in that target style by utilizing fine-tuned text-to-image. So essentially, this is the reference image, right? So you give it this image, and then you go owl perched on a branch, and this is your reference shot, right? And I find this interesting because this is just literally ripping off somebody's style, right? Somebody's artistic style. And again, Google has been a little bit safe with it. Obviously, I don't want to push it too much. But you can see, cartoony, blocky, rounded corners, that sort of stuff. You can see how it's adapting it. But when we start to get down into more of the definitely stylized from individuals, it gets kind of nutty. This one as well, right? Like you give it this. Kind of crazy. Yeah. Video stylization. So then it just scales up from there. So with Lumiere, off-the-shelf text-based image editing methods can be used to consistent video editing. So the source video, made of wooden blocks, origami, made of flowers. Yeah, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. Yeah. So you give it the video, and then it will then translate it. Okay, so you're not giving it a still image anymore. You are giving it the video. Interesting. Yeah. Well, cinemagraphs. There you go. Yeah, you nailed it. There you go. That's it. So you've seen this stuff before, but so that's exactly what I was talking about with regards to you have the girl there with a cigarette or whatever. You just highlight the end of the cigarette, and boom, it just animates that bit, animates the smoke, or animates the water and that sort of stuff. So yeah, I mean, if any of you had trust issues before, I wish us all luck in the coming years. Mode of colouring of colourful toy bricks. Are they talking about? I don't know what you're talking about. Absolutely don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, colourful. Yeah. Without saying it, this is what I want. Yeah. So this is, I mean, we're getting into the weeds a bit now, but this is kind of weird as well. So filling in, this is generative fill, but in video, I guess, right? This is the video. For some reason, I had a black Post-it note over the lens. Can you fix it for me? But obviously, it's just showing off what it can do in terms of working out the section that's missing, which is kind of nuts. So they've obviously been testing this in the office and going, yeah, let's cover it up. Interesting. So have a look at that. Yeah, have a look at that. Is pretty clever what it can do for sure. Yeah. Is this free? Like, can you use this, or is it? I should have looked at this. I didn't actually see. I mean, if you want, you can just. If anybody needs help getting to sleep, I can just read this to you if you want. I tried reading it. I was just like, yeah, I'm bored. It's just absolutely. So we introduce a space-time unit architecture. It generates the entire temporal duration of the video at once through a single pass of the model. Yeah, enjoying that. And then lastly, Vlad just sent me this. Zuckerberg admits that they use your Instagram photos to train their AI. I mean, come on, we all knew that was happening. And the reason why we kind of all knew that was happening was because whenever we sign up to Meta, Facebook, Instagram, in the 469-page dossier of usage rights, it does have in there that you basically sign over the rights of your images to Meta, and all our images have all been signed over to them for generations now. So like they're not kind of breaking the law by looking at those images. We've given them the rights to do that. So yeah, it's too late. Pandora's box has been opened. I know, right, Dave? Yeah, come on. If you need to get the kids to bed, you can just start reading that to them. Yeah. This is in contrast to the existing video models, which synthesize the distant keyframes followed by temporal super resolution, and an approach that inherently makes global temporary consistency difficult to achieve. Love it, man. Love it. Yeah, I'll stick to making pretty pictures if that's cool. All right then. So unless anybody's got any pressing bits of news they wanted to share. Yeah, exactly. Talking about AI is boring enough. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Right, let's talk about some bits then. I wanted to have a quick chat about this little fella that I got from Pixar Pro recently. So I reached out to them and asked them to send over this TL30K2. Talk about boring text, which is this fella here. So I just want to have a little look at it. I haven't. I literally just unboxed it yesterday for an unboxing video for them, and but I haven't really had time to play with it. So what this is a couple of LED tubes here. So I presume the 30 refers to how long they are. RGB, pretty straightforward, right? This is 200 quid for a pack of 2, and let's have a look. And I kind of wanted to use these shorter ones because I kind of wanted to see what I could get away with in terms of light drop off. So like we were just talking a minute ago, right, about collimated light, and I was explaining I use that term collimated. It is not kind of doing that, but we are kind of using the very short drop off of light that comes from the ability to put your lights so close to the subject, which is what I use with the the AOS's in that shot that I showed you, and the LED tubes that I've been using, right? So those of you that don't, like, I've been using these tubes in my images, right? So these long, like these are meter long tubes in the images, right? But these are far shorter. So I kind of wanted to maybe do some portraits with this, where they were brought in real close to the subject, just out of shot. If I'm doing a headshot or something like that, bring them in real close, and then add some color to them, and hopefully seeing if I can get some, I don't know, more kind of atmospheric or moody shots by having them that close to the subject, which would ordinarily be impossible with normal strobes, right? And the reason they're impossible is because normal strobes have a singular point of light. So you're not going to have them as a bare bulb. So what do? You've got to put a modifier on them. Okay, well, let's say it's a small softbox. Already that small softbox is then putting that light further away, and you have that hotspot from the singular point. So it's very difficult to bring in some of these strobe lights and speed lights as well, or even worse, because they're just firing out of that channel. So I was kind of interested as to what we could do with these smaller ones here. Okay, so like I said, this is I'm going to turn this on a second. So that is at 100 power. I'm just going to turn that down so it's not completely bleaching out the stream. So you can turn that down. It goes all the way down to, so that's 1. And you just saw what 100 was like a minute ago. And so the modes we've got here, we've got the color temperature. So let's have a look. So the color temperature on this then, so we've got, so this goes up to 6,500 in, so towards the blue, right? That's not particularly high. For some of the bigger panels, you'd be getting up towards 10,000. But how often are you really using that? Not much, but still. And how low does it go? Down to 2,700 Kelvin. Okay. So you're getting a nice warm. You're definitely getting a nice warm glow there. Even at 1%, that is at 1%. That's still bright here, Okay. So 5,000, and then what else we got here? So obviously we got all the different colors as you'd, and that's done in a hue value. So we got the hue value from 0 to 350. No, 360. Okay. That's a pretty good red, I think. Okay, and then one thing that's nice about these as well, which you don't often get on smaller LED lights like this, is you get the saturation as well. Okay, so I think you can click in the scroll wheel, and it takes wheel down to, and so you can reduce the saturation as well, which is kind of nice. And again, it's a nice feature to have on smaller LED ones. So that's red at saturation 30, and it goes down in increments of 1, right? So So that's 30 saturation. You can see the warm color there. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So again, that's nice to have. That's good. And so I presume we've got the oh, and then we've got all the FX. I don't know who uses these. I don't know. Oh yeah, the police or something. Anyway, yes, you can see you got all the effects if you do video and that sort of thing. But yeah. So fairly standard, fairly straightforward there. It does everything that you'd kind of expect it to. Everything as well has got this connector here, which is kind of cool. So it enables you to join the two of them together. My sweaty little hands can't get. There you go. Stuck in there. Yeah, so you just kind of stick the two together. So again, that gives you a little bit more power as well, right? Which is kind of good. Oh shit, that's set to 100. Yeah, okay, I'll turn that off. I'll turn that off. Yeah. Okay, so that's good. You can have a little bit more power by having them linked together. That, which is nice. So that's cool. Or them separately. The other thing that was kind of one of the reasons I was drawn to these in particular was because they are round. I know that's a hexagonal end cap, but they're round here, right? They're round here, right? So that means that they can be used with brackets on light stands and that sort of stuff, right? Those of you that have been following my work, I've got this kind of plumbing Munson bracket thing or whatever it's called here to attach it to the round thing. So that I could obviously just get one of those, which would be cool because they come in all different sizes. But they also come equipped with just rustling that in front of the microphone. You like that? Sorry. So they also come with this, okay, which means that you can. Oh, that's a clever design. So you can. Oh, okay, that's cool. So you actually clamp it. You don't just force it in there. That's kind of cool. So you can then attach this to the stand, and then you can rotate this wherever you want. So you can really get that exactly where you wanted it, right? Yeah. Okay. Okay. That is snug actually. That's really good. Yeah, that's not going anywhere. Yeah, as a clever clamp as well on that. Yeah. But even you can see here like how quickly it kind of drops off because of how close it is. So we actually have color here on the, and this is like this grey sweatshirt is a great example because you can see how it drops off, and the reason it drops off so quickly is because of how close it is, right? If we bring that further away, yes, I would need to increase the ISO or something like that, but as I bring it further away, see how even the light gets, and then bring it in, see how harsh it gets, like bright, and then drops off. That's what I'm talking about, kind of using that principle with these LEDs. So I kind of wanted to do a shot where, maybe we had something underneath here. You could have it in just out of shot, and then it would affect the subject, and then that color would kind of disappear real quick. Yeah. So you could have one color up here, and then this color down here, and you can't really do that with larger lights, just because it would just flood it out. Yeah. So kind of interested. I've got a shoot on Thursday. I'm going to try it out there. See how I get on. But I'd be interested to look at that drop off. So with that in mind then, so here, right, so I did a post on Instagram. Oh, you can't see my screen. I did a post on Instagram end of last week, something like that, and I was just talking about this, and in that post I was trying to explain inverse square law and how it relates to lighting, and how the inverse square law is kind of this nice example of how physics explains light to us and how light falls and that sort of thing. But in reality, the inverse square law, when it comes to photographers, it doesn't really exist, because the inverse square law is based on a single point, and I mean a single point, and it's based on the light being in a vacuum. So what I mean by that is, if we were to go into a studio and we would set up a strobe and we put, let's just say, a reflector dish on it, right, and we point it at somebody, the inverse square law states that you double the distance from the light, you quarter the amount of brightness or power you have, right? In reality, it's fairly hazy. It doesn't really act like that, and the reason it doesn't act like that is because we're not dealing with a single point, and you're firing it. Maybe you've got a white floor, maybe you've got a black floor, maybe you've got a white wall just out of shot. Like, the light is bouncing around. Yeah, we don't light in a vacuum. We light in a studio, and it can kind of throw us off. And the reason that it doesn't really apply to LED tubes is because this entire length of tube is emitting the same amount of power, right? So if we come down here we go, it's me talking about it here, and if we come down here and look at, this is the strobe dropping off here. So we've got a strobe here, and it's still funneled out of that reflector dish, right? So at 50 centimeters it's 5.6, and then at 2 meters 1.4, and that is F numbers as well, which makes it even more confusing. What I want you to look at is the difference between this starting point here, right? So this 50 centimeter starting point here on the strobe, that's with a dish on, compared to the dish off. Like, we never use a strobe with a dish off, right? But you can see already out here, it's different, right? In terms of how bright it is, because that light is bouncing around. It's next to a wall. You've got a white floor here. Like I said, lighting doesn't happen in a vacuum. Then we have this LED panel here, which is the Rotlight one. It's a far more gradual drop off, right? Far more gradual, as opposed to it being nuclear right here and then black. Yeah? So it's far more gradual here. And then we have the LED tube, and you can see, right? This is why these LED tubes and larger panels are so easy to work with, because you have this beautiful wall of light. Okay, and I think was it you, Sam, who was talking about this, like how we can use the panels and that. This is why these tubes and that sort of thing is just so easy to use, because we're dealing with the same subject matter, right? I.e., a human body. It's the same size. It's pretty consistent. We're all having to deal with that same thing. So, if you put this tube, if you're lighting your subject here, right? Look at the exposure on the face compared to the legs, right? Whereas, do the same thing down here, it's going to be the same. Yeah. So this is why tubes are very, very easy to use, especially when they're brought in unbelievably close to the subject like this, because you have this beautiful even drop off of light. Okay, and the same thing happens with these. Granted, smaller, but for the type of work that I do, which I need just small pockets of light with color, these Rotlight EOS panels are just perfect for it. Really good for it. Yeah. And for the reason that I showed you earlier on, right? That EOS light from above. We were looking at that light coming down on that model. Beautiful shot, if I do say so myself, but you can see how it just immediately drops off. Yeah, almost impossible to do with flash, because it's just either going to be in shot, you can't get it close enough, and you can't get it even enough, right? So, that's why I'm kind of using more of these LEDs now, and this is going to be the same principle with this, just scaled down, so that I can bring it in and just work on a small section of the body to kind of have that even beautiful light across the body. So that's kind of why I wanted to get that and kind of play with it. Okay, those of you that haven't read that article, shame on you. Here's the link. Let's have a look. Talking about, oh yeah, the TL things are fun. I've used them at night when I didn't want to carry a ton of equipment. That's true. Yeah, they're super lightweight actually. Yeah, now that you mentioned that, yeah, super lightweight. Yeah, I got pretty much all of their versions. So the 30 centimeter, the 60, and the 120. Really, the 120. Okay, okay, yeah, interesting. Yeah, I bet that'd be great. Yeah. Probably going to blind either yourself or one of your models by accident. You're pressing play while it's set to 100. Yeah, true. Yeah, yeah. And colors. That reminds me, huge problem with one of my AS2s while using the preset packs. Why is that, Dave? Who the fuck decided the wheel needs to click like that? And you need to adjust it 23 anyway. You're talking about the wheel on this, Vlad. So I think if you, I think it's the wheel on this one is intuitive with regards to, if that's what you're talking about. I apologize if you're not talking about that. So you can kind of tick it slowly and it goes, and it goes just in ones, or you can click it quickly and it goes down in 10. Yeah, I don't know how it does it, but you can click it just one at a time. Or if you do like a quick click, it goes down in 10s. Yeah. Yeah. Used to have that on the old Bowen's lights we used to use. What the fuck? I thought I turned that off. Going to get the images together and pop a message after road light support to see what the fuck is happening. Oh, okay. If it's an issue like that, all right. Yeah, I mean they are really good at their support, Dave. So yeah, definitely don't hesitate to do that if you think there's something going on with it. Yeah, running continuous shutter flash would alternate green, blue each shot. What? Interesting. Yeah. Since you have two of them, turn one to orange and one to cyan while they are linked. Oh, I see. Yeah, you could do that. That'd be interesting to see how. Especially with those two colours that would kind of neutralise each other. Yeah, I wonder how that would look. Yeah, yeah. On the skin, would they kind of go grey or not? Because they should neutralise each other in theory, right? What do we got? You kind of want a nice, decent orange there. Yeah. You guys can't see it, but I can see the individual LEDs in there. So it's not as diffused as something like the tube is. Yeah, like I said, you guys can't see that, but yeah, okay. Yeah. And then you have the blue on the other side, yeah. Please show that clamp to camera. I need the 3D It's got this mechanism that basically gets tighter once it's on there. So it's got that clamp there. So when it's open, you can actually put the round tube in, and then you close it to keep it in. So it's actually really nicely designed for that, especially on the round tubes like this. Yeah, it's really cool. Yeah. I thought Darth Vader was on my screen. Yeah, I know, that thing was super bright, right? Is the diffuser fixed? What do you mean? Oh, you mean in terms of on this, Dave? Yeah, good question. That is a good point. Yeah, that is a good point, actually. So I'm guessing what Dave's question is here is this has a diffuser on it. Is it always on there? And yes, you're right. It only comes like that. Now you guys can't see this. I can't turn it down low enough to actually show you unless I might be able to adjust my webcam here. Let's see if I can adjust the webcam. There you go. So you can see that's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing these kind of individual LEDs there. Yeah. So it's not as diffused as the long tube. Yeah. So to your point then, Dave, yes, it is on all the time, as in the diffusion panel is on all the time, but it's not as diffused as like this thing here, which like even when it's on and low or high, I can't see the individual LEDs on that. Yeah, so it's not as frosted as that is. Yeah. Hey Tony, morning mate. How you doing? How many lights was in that shot, Jake? It was the orange and blue girl, 3. Yeah. I'll tell you something about Rotalight. Their website is a bloody nightmare to navigate. There's a drop down for the accessories. I know, Jamie. Yeah, the website is a little. I would agree with you. Yeah, I would agree with you. The website does need work. Yeah. Also, they have magnetic backs. They do, Grimes. Yeah. I wasn't, because I was like, what the hell is it stuck on? And I forgot that it's got like a magnet in there. So this comes with. So they all come with. Let's have a look. So we've got the clamps, as we've already spoken about. We've got the charging cables there. Oh, look at that. Look at that nice. Ooh, look at that lighting on the hand there. Orange and blue. Just happened by accident, you know. So they all come with these things. So to Grimes' point there, they come with these stick-on metal plates, right? So you can just stick this onto something and then they'll magnetize to the plates. So you got that as well. It'll come with the straps, hand straps. Do you remember when the Wii came out originally? There was all these court cases of like kids knocking out their grandma because they were using the nunchucks and they just fly out of their hand. Just these made me think of that. Or the broken TVs. You get the pictures of broken TVs because the kids playing Wii Sports and it lobbed the controller into the new TV. There's more rustling. I apologise. I'll just talk about this just so you're aware of it. I don't think I'm ever going to use this, but they come with this waterproof bag. Now, Dave, you do a lot of water work, right? It is you, Dave. Yeah, it is you, Dave. You do a lot of work in like rivers and streams and that sort of stuff. So yeah, this again, like, it's got clever little clamps and stuff on here, and so yeah, you can just pop them in there to make them fully waterproof. I don't know how often I've used it, but I mean it's kind of cool that it's in the pack. If you were, I could see it with the rain and that sort of thing. You're doing a shoot outside. I could see that. I could see that being useful. I suppose. Yeah. No. Yeah. I was thinking I don't know what I would use that for, but just going to put that noisy thing over there. And lastly, the thing that I was kind of really interested with these was the grids that these come with, because we've just spoken about controlling the light. Yeah. So these come with these grids. Yeah. So they're pretty deep grids, and they've just got elastic on the end here. Let's see if I can get this in here. Okay, so there you can see. Oh, that's pretty cool, actually. Okay, that's actually quite. You can see that's actually quite a hard cut off there. Yeah, because I wanted to do a shot where we just have it like light in the eyes. You can definitely do it. Yeah. Again, just how much can we just keep it on the? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So that grid, again, that grid will work when you've got it clamped on as well, because the grid won't get in the way of that, which is kind of cool. Pretty simple to put on. That's not going anywhere either. Yeah. Okay. And that's actually, like I said, it's actually quite a deep grid, so that will control the light. I mean, it's got to be a couple of inches deep there, which is good. Yeah, it's nice. Okay. Yeah. I'm actually surprised at how how much of a channel that gives it. Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, nice. Okay. That's pretty much it. Obviously, you just double for everything because you got 2 of them, right? But that's pretty much it. So, like I said, yeah, I was shooting with that on Thursday. I honestly at this desk, it just needs to be just all scraped off and start again. But yeah, so that'll definitely work with that clamp. Yeah, I can get that, especially with a boom arm. I can get that right above the head without any issue at all. Yeah. So with the clamp there, yeah, that'd be nice. Good, okay. Oh, there's actually another elastic in the middle there. Not that you need it, but if you needed to put the elastic through the middle, okay. Cool. All right. Yeah, I'd be interested to see how that goes. And you can use your app, the phone, to tweak the power, hue, etc. Can you, Grabs? Okay, interesting. Didn't know that. So what? Is that just a regular Godox app that does that? You can use the phone for the. Is it just a regular Godox one, or does it cover all of them? Yeah. 3D print a load of those, I think, and Summers would take. Jesus Christ, Dave. So Vlad says I have the YN30 Mini. That's similar to Jake's new toys, and the thing is just annoying to mount to anything. Yeah, I know. You got your headphones on, yeah. You got your ASMR headphones on. This says, yeah, I'm forever up to my Barilla balls and rivers and streams. Yeah, rather you than me, mate. Absolutely freezing your nuts off, literally. Yeah, got a large supply of custom size Ziploc bags. Perfect. Do they, like those Ziploc bags, would you trust them, Vlad? And it's a serious question. Like, would you actually trust your? I mean, okay, granted, it may be a slightly cheaper light, but still, you don't want to ruin it. Would you trust putting a piece of kit in a Ziploc bag? Why can't all grids be that simple? I know, right? Also, we need a product name for these tubes. Vlad, I completely agree with you. So I've kind of had a running joke with the guys at Pixapro about the Godox naming, and like you're saying, like the Young Yo and that sort of stuff. I hate these letters and numbers. It's so annoying. Just come up with a name. I'm never gonna remember it. If somebody asked me, "Oh, what light is that?" No idea. Don't know. How long is it? Like 30 centimeters. It's probably got 30 in the name. Then, it's just, yeah, it's so annoying. Yeah, the Godox app, you can also add your own fixtures and stuff. Oh, I have not ever downloaded the Godox app. I did not realise. Hey, I'm glad you're here, mate. You're doing wonders. I did not realise that these had a receiver. I suppose they're Bluetooth in here, right? I suppose that's how it's doing it. I did see a little Bluetooth icon. The app is called Godox Lite. Cool. Dave is the one with Ziplocs.me. Oh, sorry, Dave. Yeah, sorry, Dave. You've got them. Yeah. Can I link the YouTube video for Godox app? I mean, I don't have an issue with it. It's just the fact that YouTube won't let you. So, can you post it on my? Can you post it on my Facebook page? If you just post it on my Facebook page in the comments of this here, comments of the stream here, I'll be able to check it out. Yeah. Roguelite Neo 3 survived a drop into the river inside a Ziploc. Ah, okay, Dave. Okay. Brave. All right. Yeah. Like a Neo is expensive as well, man. I don't think I would be risking that, but yeah. I only have a Godox little cube. I call it Godox Cube. Yeah, your Bluetooth. Yeah, the Godox app is kind of trash compared to others' app. Really, Vlad? Surely not. What? The Godox is a interesting. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I cannot comment. I haven't used it. Yeah, haven't used it. Right. I'll just wait for that to fall over. So we were kind of talking. Vlad kind of mentioned what he had here. I just wanted to bring it up because Vlad mentioned this, the YN360 LED. I mean, classic name. Mentioned this, right? And kind of the things that he was saying to me that he didn't like about the one that he got was, is kind of square, right? So it's very difficult to mount using. Obviously, you can use the tripod. I get it. You can screw it into the bottom, that sort of thing. But the one thing that I did really like about these was the fact that they were round, and I can really micromanage them up and down on this clamp. And it sounds ridiculous, but it was genuinely something that I wanted to be able to micromanage, that being up and down, and this round clamp that enables it to be positioned anywhere I want certainly enables that, which is good. The other thing he mentioned obviously as well with regards to, I have to stop saying the word, obviously I say it every third word, it's super annoying. I guess it's not quite as bad as literally. The other thing here he was mentioning was the access points, where if you need to kind of change the grid or the diffusion cover thing and that sort of stuff, you got to unscrew the bracket that is on and then attach it and then attach it. So yeah, so these are okay. I personally think that this is pretty pricey for what it is, but that's just me. I'm sure Vlad didn't pay that, because that seems a lot of money for one of these, and it doesn't. Is it full color, or is this, what are these colors here? These are nasty colors, man. Formed by bright. Oh, it is full color. Okay. Well, that only goes up to 5,500. 5,500. Okay. That seems expensive for what it is when you're only getting one of them, right? You just get one, or you get a pack. It looks like just one. Yeah. So this is looking better value all the time. All right. Can I? Oh shit. Let's grab a link just to have a look at that if anybody's interested. And the LED journey continues. Again, I haven't used a flash in a long time. Yeah, a very long time. Yeah. That's not the right light, Vlad. Okay. I just typed in the YN360. Okay, cool. Is it? I mean, it is kind of like that. You'd hate to see where my AOS 2s have been placed in the past. Oh, Dave, you're braver than I am, mate. Yeah. Accidental insurance. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I need to go, but thanks. Hey, no worries, Kat. Yeah, take care. It's the one I have. So that's for two of them. And that's dollars. Okay. Yeah. Okay. That's two, right? Yeah, two pieces. Yeah, for 150. Okay. So still, that's not. Yeah, that's not a huge. I thought they were going to be like the Youngios. I thought were far cheaper, but okay. Yeah. So that's actually not too bad then. Price of that. Yeah. Okay. Good. Yeah. Nice. Right. Let's have a look. Oh, can we get rid of that, guys? Yeah. Cool. If only you wouldn't ignore the chat. Vlad, I can't. It's close enough, right? It's close enough. Yeah. Okay. Interesting. Well, I will keep you posted. I'm going to use these on Thursday. And battery life, in case anybody's curious, I was just reading the manual before I got on stream, and the manual quotes 1 hour at 100% brightness. That magnet freaks me out every time. It's just like it just sucked itself across the desk. So it states full power at 1 hour. Just put that on the floor with all the other lighting crap. Even the dog won't come in here anymore. Okay. Let's close this. Just hide that for now. All good. All right, let's have a look at what you guys have been working on. I know, Dave. I know. I thought I'd better have a look just in case, in case somebody asks me a bloody question, I wouldn't have looked had it not been for the stream, I can assure you, Dave. Right, let's get into looking at your images then, see what we got. If you're new to the stream, this is where we just go through images that you guys have submitted. People can post their images on my Facebook page via the post from yesterday. So it's usually called Share a Shoot, live stream, and then people just pop their images in the comments. Then we're just going to go through and have a little look at what people have shared, maybe pull a couple into Photoshop, have some feedback, see what we can see what we can learn. So Dave's up first. What we got here? So Dave says another shot from our Love the Witch theme shoot for a group with burlesque dancers. Roguelite EOS 2s used to give a color cast to the set, and another grid EOS keylight. Okay, so read that again. So EOS 2s used to give a color cast to the set, which is going to be the red here, right? And another gridded EOS. So what are you using to grid those EOS then, Dave? Trying to emulate the lighting of the 60s B-movie genre, yeah. Great, just for fun, shoot at a local studio. Nice, yeah, cool. Yeah. I don't know what's going on down in there in chat. Tony says, I have found the cheap ones don't have a full color range. Oh, okay, so just the regular Kelvin ones, yeah. Let's have a look at, let's bring this image into, I was going to say Reddit then. Bring it into Photoshop. Early preview of what I'm working on. Let's have a look at what we got here. Okay, so first off then, let's be having a look at, I just want to see if we can just straighten up this vertical here. And then we can kind of work on maybe some of the colors to have a little bit of a play with that just real quick. So I'm just going to open up the camera raw here, and this is kind of got so much information or tools from Lightroom. Yeah, so if you're used to using Lightroom, this should be fairly straightforward. And like ordinarily, I would do what I'm doing here. I would do this in Lightroom, okay? But I want to be able to show it to you just on the JPEG, so we can do it here in Photoshop. And I just want to come down here. Let's have a look, just to try to see if we can get away with straightening that out. Okay, yeah. There should be a grid here somewhere that we can look at, right? Oh, there it is. That's pretty good, Okay, yeah, I can live with that. And let's have a look up here. Let's bring down some of these highlights a little bit. We're trying to keep it in that 60s vibe. If we're going to be keeping it in that 60s vibe, we either want to go one way or the other. We either want to go kind of Hollywood glam, or we want to go kind of muted home camera style, right? So I'm just going to bring some of these down. This guy's like looking okay color wise. Definitely want to warm it up a touch, I think. And again, we want 60, so we're just going to take out some of the magenta and get that 60s vibe. Just move into the green area there, just a touch green to those highlights. So dehaze, we can kind of give this a little bit of light to the shadows there. We can take out some of the clarity as well, right? Because we want to be going for that. Zoom in. Thanks for that. So that clarity, we can just soften it up a little bit, give it that 60s shot on an old camera vibe. Yeah, let's just take out some of that clarity. Okay, let's come down here and play with some of these colors a little bit. Let's try and lock in some of these colors. Oh yeah, that's nice. There we go. We're getting that 60s vibe there now. These nice oranges. So just trying to bring in a little bit. I know you've gone reds and that sort of thing, but I'm just trying to take on board the period that you're going for. That's looking good actually. I quite like that. And then we can tweak this. I quite like the warm. I mean, because it should be back here, but I think we can keep it quite warm. I think we can do that. We can worry about that later on. Color mixer. So we can kind of have a look at, see what we can keep the skin nice and bright here in the reds. And just darken this background down a touch. The other thing here, don't forget to play with these purples here, because these purples will often... well, there we go. We got something there. Yeah. Now we can just have a quick tweak in here with these colours. Yeah, don't mind that. Okay. Okay. So yeah, that's definitely given it a little bit of personality there. Let's come out of there. And yeah, don't mind that. Okay. Let's just give it again. Yeah, okay. Let's have a play with these curves real quick. See what we... Hello? Play with these. Oh, let me change this so you guys can see more of what I'm doing. Here you go. So let's have a look. So this is where the highlight is here, right? And then so I've just put a point in there using the hand tool, and then we don't want to affect too much of it down here, right? So all of this kind of mid-tone area down there. Okay. So again, I'm trying to give it that 60s personality a little bit. That's nice, yeah. And then the greens, it's going to be some of the magenta there, but we definitely want to see if we can cheekily add a little bit of greens in the highlights there. And then we definitely want to be adding some yellows to these highlights. It's looking good. Okay, it's looking good. Yeah, and I mean, I think pretty much we can leave it there, I think. But we can just add the channel mixer in here. Is there anything in the reds that we can kind of lock in? That's not bad. Yeah, we're getting there now. There you go. That's nice. So that's the reds. Let's create another one here for, might be something in, is there something in the... Okay, let's try the blue channel lastly. See, it's just too tempting to make it modern. You just got to make sure we're keeping those. Yeah, it's looking good. It's looking good. I am kind of curious with that clarity slider, how far we can take it. I'm just going to double that layer. So we can come back to it if we need to. So let's come up here again. I just want to see if we can just give that glow. Give it any more glow. Where were we? Where was it? Effects? Let's zoom in here a second. I wonder if you could... I'm just curious, if we just did that and then just drop the opacity of that. I actually don't mind that. Yeah, just taking, so that's just duplicated that layer, and I just took out some of the clarity, which kind of softens it, and then dropped the opacity of that so we could see the layer underneath. That's actually pretty cool. That's definitely given it that. Yeah. Okay. So this is where we were. Okay, this is where we kind of ended up. Just leaning into, getting your headspace into the color palette of that era, and looking at images from that era. Like the reds are definitely towards the oranges from that time period. I'm not saying that that's what you should have done. Like I said, I'm really just color grading here, so this is not right and wrong. This is more about me just showing you, a different way to take it. But I actually do kind of like that, and that is definitely a technique that might be worth paying attention to with that clarity trick. I could see that helping to take the edge off something, We were just dealing with a low-res JPEG here, but it definitely gives it that glow on the highlights without it being ghosted. That's pretty cool. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's fun. That's a good one to start with. I like that. Yeah. EOS 2 case. Oh no, so Dave says custom made 50-degree grid to fit that. Oh, you custom made it. Nice. Okay. Yeah, good stuff. The EOS 2 case is the same as the original, so I was able to cut a slot and a grid holder. Okay. Speaking of camera raw, bet the version is out with digital signature stuff. Digital signature stuff? What's that, lad? So it's, you say a newer version, so I got to update Photoshop again? Dave says then fitted a 28cm grid from my 45 long reflector. Do you know what? I haven't come across the need for a grid, but I can definitely see why you would use it for certain shots. Yeah, that's a good idea. Do they make them, Dave? Or if you just made one yourself because you kind of had the idea for it? Yeah. The Love Witch film is done tongue-in-cheek and throwback to the 60s B movies. Okay, loads of... bad lighting. Bad lighting. 2010 tech used in 60s restaurant. Ever used highlighters. Terrible film, but probably going to have a cult following. Okay, yeah, I haven't heard of it. Dave, yeah, I have to take a look. Yeah, the new camera raw provides support for content credentials as an early access. Oh. Nice one, Vlad. Okay. Yeah, good shout. I have to look at that. Interesting. Yeah, okay. I wonder how they're doing that then. Yeah, okay. Yeah. So we got one from Alan here. My first go at shooting fire was not as easy to get exposure for the flame, but was pleased with some of the results. I bet it was kind of a little bit of hit and miss, right? Because you can't expose until the fire is there, and the fire is only there for like a split second. So you would definitely need to be guessing for the first one, and then adjusting from there. This is interesting, right? Because I'm guessing, Alan. I mean, I don't think you're in stream, but correct me if I'm wrong afterwards. But I'm guessing you brought up a lot of this data back here, because it really having all this data in the background here makes such a huge difference. This would have been it would have been fine. It would have been cool to just have it pure black back there like this. But in my opinion, it makes such a difference having all this data in the background to actually work with, to show this kind of sense of depth, as opposed to just a black background. It just feels a bit stuck on, right? So I think you've done a good job there. I can see you've kind of cut her out here, and you've probably HDR'd it a little bit in post. But I think in terms of what you are working with split second exposures and everything being pure orange, yeah, I think you've done a great job. Yeah, cool. Oh, you are there, Alan. I'm sorry. Yeah. Yeah, I was guessing the adjusting all the time. Gotcha. Yeah. It was a farm building behind, edited, dairy. Oh, really? So you've added all that behind in post. Interesting. So, like, all of this is fake then, Alan? So all of that is fake. I mean, I didn't know for sure. I mean, I could see that there was a maybe like here on the legs where it's kind of HDR'd a little bit, where it's kind of cut out, but like certainly not an issue at all. Yeah, I certainly didn't know the background. Yeah, that's nuts. Yeah. Brave post for a fire breather. I thought exactly the same thing, Dave. Yeah, because you got all this stuff coming down here. Like, does that not? Isn't that just whatever it is, like flammable? Like, if that's just going to land back on your face? I have no idea of how fire breathing is done, what the liquid is that they take into their mouth, or I've got no clue as to how it's done. But my knee-jerk reaction was the same as Dave's. That is a brave pose to go straight up like that. Yeah, not been cut. Okay, not been cut out. Okay, gotcha. Been told you have to use electronic shutter and not mechanical. What, for fire? Why is that then? Is there a fear of rolling shutter, do you think? Could it be like the rolling shutter of like something fast moving, like smoke, like fire coming out and then dissipating? Would it be an issue with rolling shutter, you think? That'd be unlikely, yeah, for low light. Okay. Oh, so it is to do with low light and not to do with anything like that. I mean, what would the electronic shutter versus the mechanical one would make any difference to the exposure? They would have checked which way. I was thinking that, Dave. Yeah, thinking it's probably going that way behind her. Yeah. What do we get up here? Let's see. Any questions up there? Vlad talking about digital signature. Dave says, oh, they're talking about the grid, 150 quid for the grid. Yeah. I don't know what it is, Dave. I recall historically the issue with grids, because grids were always historically really expensive. And the issue was the grid itself is patented. And I think that anybody who makes a grid has to pay the piper, as it were, to use a grid, like to have a grid on their lights. So they have to pay a fee, as it were. That was what I was told years ago. Because I asked Bowens at the time, I was like, Bowens, why are your grids so expensive? And it's like, because we have to pay the patent, nominal fee or whatever it is. We have well, not nominal fee, but we have to pay a fee to use the patent of grids, hence why they're so expensive. Yeah. Obviously, it doesn't apply to some of those other companies who seem to operate in the fringes. Mandy, Jamie, I swear to God, I'm actually just going to watch it just so we can put this behind us and move on with our lives. I only found out about it because my Photoshop kept crashing today. I had to reinstall. Okay, it's good to know though. I'll keep an eye out for that. I wonder if a modern camera can compensate for the fire in between shots or something like the aperture priority. I was thinking that, Vlad, yeah, in terms of having it set to that, would it be able to, in theory? Yeah. They would have to check which way though, yeah. I had banding in studio and was told to change to mechanical for studio work. So you had banding in the studio and you were told to switch to the mechanical to avoid the banding. That's got to be camera specific then. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely more prominent on some than others. Interesting though, Alan. It's interesting. I have not looked into that. I mean, I don't do anything like that. I certainly don't shoot video or anything like that. So I've never encountered the rolling shutter issue. Interesting. Yeah, interesting. Yeah. I know, Jamie, I know. Okay. So Brett here says, trying to mix up the beauty vibe a bit. This one is not adjusted for color or retouched. Any ideas on the vibe and the use of optical snoot. Maybe I should have gelled it. Thanks, Jake. Banding is an issue over your sync speed. So you see the black bars that comes from when the shutter's not synced. But if you're not using flash, it shouldn't be. Yeah, I don't know. I'll have a look at that though. If it's specifically to do with fire, I'll kind of curious now. So to Brett's point here, any ideas of vibe using the optical snoot? So he's using an optical snoot back here and that sort of thing. Let's have a look in Photoshop here a minute. Oh, look at that 60 shot. It's nice, isn't it? So right off the rip here, Brett, we're going to talk about like the weight of this image and compositionally. This is very bottom heavy, right? And there's not a rule, but you shouldn't really have the eyes in the middle of a frame like this, okay? So they're just square in. So really the eyes you kind of want, if you're going to have the face here, at least you want the kind of the eyebrows up there, right? So there's not. Does this work? Don't do it, Photoshop. Don't do it. I mean, why even fucking bother, right? Why even bother? We can just do it all afterwards. So yeah, so I just gets you right there, man. So yeah, so compositionally, this is more weighted than where it was, right? Hopefully you can see the difference of how low she is in the frame and how it's like just top kind of top heavy, right? Whereas now, she's definitely in a better spot there. So really to watch that. That's like bare minimum. We need to get the composition right or not. If you're going to use generative fill, doesn't matter. Just watch the exposure here on the skin with these lights. If they're pointing directly at them, you can kind of add some extra diffusion to these lights. I'm not sure what lights you're using here, but just watch that brightness on the skin there. So we won't be able to do too much with this being a JPEG, but okay, let's just keep that on the face there. Just darken down that forehead a little bit. So the other thing here that we can do is, yes, you could have added color to it, but it's probably going to be too heavy for the beauty shot, right? You've got to be very careful when you're using color in beauty, because you don't want it to ever detract from the subject or the product that you're using. Yeah. So yes, you could have used a color back there, but you've got to be real delicate with it, and you've got to try and keep it to just one kind of blanket color. So I mean, one thing with this is you could just desaturate, because we got this weird color distortions and stuff here. So we got some blues and we got some yellows and stuff in here. So one thing right off the rip is just going to be to kind of paint that in, right, and paint that in, which will get rid of that colors back there. You can also, this will also help with the hair as well, to again just keep just keep you focused exactly where you want people to be, which is usually going to be on the face and stuff there, right? So we've definitely got some muddy, weird colours going on there. So even if you don't do the hair, definitely do that background, yeah. And that helps to kind of bring us in. And then you can kind of play around with the skin a little bit here as well. I feel like we could have done with a bit more fill light in here, just because we've got a lot of lost data here in the black hair. So not only have we got like this blown out highlight on the forehead, but then we've lost data in the shadows here as well. So we kind of need to bring in another very soft light on this side, more so to even fill in some of these shadows. Yeah. Okay, and then don't forget to kind of find skin tone that you're kind of happy with. And then make sure that it's covering all the skin, yeah. So even skin tone on beauty shots is really important. And if it was beauty, I'd probably remove this nose piercing. Again, you just want as few distractions as possible from the face or the product. I know you're just playing with ideas and testing, so I'm just giving you the feedback as I see it. But here we can see even out the skin tone. Okay. Okay, that's just wrong, isn't it? It's just wrong. I know, Dave. I know. Yeah, collective side of me. I know. Yeah. Right. It's nuts, isn't it? It's crazy what that did. That's just crazy. Tony's answering Vlad up there. Okay, so Tony's got a shot here. So Tony says, this is a shoot from promotional images for a new web-based indie film series, Canberry Vampire Hunters. Her eyes are interesting as they change from blue to green depending on the clothes she wears. In case I miss tomorrow, I think you were in here, so we're good. Have a look at a vector scope tool. I've heard of vector scopes, yeah. Any program by doing screen grabs in real time, great for helping with color balance for we people who don't have your eye. Okay, interesting. All right, let's have a look. Presume this is the product. Is it? Yeah, this is it. Yeah.
Its color values in vector scope.
Oh shit, you guys can hear it, I can't.
You can hover the mouse over vector scope to
rustling.
see where exactly
I'm just
are
rustling,
these
I'm sorry.
colors located on the image.
You guys can't hear that? What? Is it muted?
It remembers selected region for each application. So you can simply switch between applications, and the vector scope will be automatically updated. You can hover the mouse over vector scope to see where exactly are the
what? So you select an image, and then it gives you
analyze its color values in vector scope.
Oh, and it gives you this. Interesting.
You can hover the mouse over vector scope to see where exactly are these colors located on the selected region for each application. So you can simply switch
It's a shame they
between
couldn't have afforded somebody
applications
to
and the
actually say this rather than AI. But
you can set primary and secondary colors. The harmonious colors, such as complementary or analogous colors, will be displayed over the vector scope. This way you can
I know,
easily
right? You
adjust
know,
colors in
yeah,
Photoshop to make
terrible,
them more
isn't it?
harmonious.
okay, interesting. All right. So what's this? Oh, it's 15 quid flat fee. All right, and it gives you that. Oh, only for Windows. Oh, what? That's it. Out of luck. Out of luck. No Macintoshes. Interesting. Okay. Interesting idea. Yeah, I'd certainly need to. Yeah, I'd certainly need to see how that works in reality with a bunch of images. Yeah. Okay. Clever idea. Yeah, I'll have to look at that. Has anybody used one? Vector scope. I always find these tools useful, for giving you the exact or like scientific values of something, but which can be a starting point to then give it your own flair. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. Just put your image in DaVinci to play with vector scopes. Oh, okay. I don't have that, Vlad, but yeah, true. I know it's in there as well. Yeah. Okay. That's a good point, though, Tony. Thanks for bringing that up. And maybe I'll look into that for a future stream, because I know nothing about them. I've never used them. I know with video, everybody uses them for video. Like we kind of use the histograms and that sort of thing, right? But the vector scopes are just far more detailed and really, really useful for consistency. But yeah, I always find it's so annoying that whatever is default, the video people, there's always a plugin extra for us. Yeah, right. Yeah. Cool project though, Tony. Yeah, really cool. Yeah. You certainly got my brain thinking there about whether like the practical applications of that vector scope thing to kind of extrapolate on it. And then I know the AI bot was talking about, you got your points and you can kind of shift it from there. Yeah. Okay. Like Vlad says, maybe we can have a look at it in DaVinci, but maybe there is a Mac version of something similar. So Vlad's got one here, anime-inspired color palette. I'm not completely done with the edit yet, but getting there eventually. This one was shot a few weeks ago on a small Sony camera, and my biggest pain point is that I was too cold to set up the GoPro for BTS footage. I've been there. So question for people who play with more gear than me, how annoying are proper magic arms to use? I have one from AliExpress and it's a pain in the rear. It wouldn't hold much weight and never stays in the exact position when you take your hands off. Really? Okay, that's bad. Yeah. I want to mount a GoPro on a tripod with a clamp. Yeah, that's bad, Vlad. Yeah, the ones I've used are either like the Manfrotto ones. They're just rock solid, mate. Yeah, honestly, it's definitely worth. Like for certain things, you can get cheap and that sort of stuff. But I've certainly been there where I've had like Gorilla Pods and that sort of stuff where it just slowly dips, which is really bad for BTS, where you're usually doing a time lapse, right? So the time lapse just slowly moves, which is really bad. But yeah, like the proper ones, like the proper magic arms, and there's ones from like the Manfrotto ones where you just got a proper crank handle valve thing, like rock solid, man, absolutely rock solid. Yeah, and I think so. Tony mentioned up here, so Vlad responds here. Don't have a magic arm, but I have a few bits from Kupo, not cheap, but they hold a lot of weight. Okay, another solid brand as well. Yeah, that's good. So this anime-inspired color palette is a really interesting idea to play with, and it's kind of something that I've explored over the years as well. So let me see if I can find the article on So I wrote an article years ago on abstract color in Akira, and I used Akira as an example for abstract color because it's fascinating to me as to how abstract some of the color is in anime and manga and that sort of things, because and how they get away with it, right? So using this abstract color palette, like here for example, right? I mean, again, it is a nerdy article, but if you haven't seen it, it's, in my opinion, worth checking out, because they use abstract color to show you a lot of information in manga very, very quickly. So like here, you've got these cops in this cop car. Inside the car, they're pink, and then outside the car, it's blue, right? So it's a very bold, contrasting colors, and it tells you exactly what you need to know in the scene. This is what's going on inside, this is what's going on outside, right? And again here, right, layering, talking about layering with colors, right? We have this scene here in terms of depth, right? And we have stuff that's closer to us, or like the bikers and that sort of thing in this color here, and then we have these guys here in the middle ground, foreground, and then where we need to be looking here has like more of the normal color. But Akira is just filled with this, right? And you don't even notice it when you're actually watching it, which is what I find fascinating. I think I talk about a section in here in a minute about all the different colors they have for concrete. Like there is no reason at all why the concrete would be bright red and bright green here, but when you're watching the anime, you don't notice it, right? So this is where you see abstract color being used at its highest level, where it's being used and you don't even notice it, is absolutely fucking genius. It's just nuts. Yeah, again here, like look at the colors in this. This is just like a server room. Is and again here, like the yellows and the purples and pinks, absolute masterpiece, and you don't notice it when you're watching it, which is why it's so absolutely incredible. So Vlad playing with abstract color, or what I would refer to as abstract color there from anime, is actually a really cool topic to kind of play with, because you can if done well in terms of managing the color in terms of depth and foreground and that sort of thing, you should be able to present an image, an incredibly abstract color image, but not be jarring. Difficult to do, but certainly possible. Yeah, certainly possible. Like have an in-house branch called Calumet. They do a cheaper version of the Manfrotto clamp with the arm attachment. Gotcha. Just real quick on that, Dave. You know that there was a German investment company called Aurelius that came over here and bought Bowens. So when Bowens closed, they bought Bowens, Wex, and Calumet. So that German investment company owns all of those. They closed down Bowens, they just shut the doors, and then they just combined Calumet and Wex into the same thing. It's kind of nuts, right? But yeah, you're right. Like Calumet doesn't like the name. It only exists in name alone now. But yeah, some of that stuff was good. I agree with you there. Akira is amazing, yeah. 5 centimeters per second. Interesting. Okay. Interesting. That does. I'll have to look at that off stream. Oh, okay. Let me have a look now. Just real quick. I don't think. I thought it was. Yeah. It's definitely a rabbit hole worth going into, Vlad, and I think looking, branching out and looking at other anime and looking at some of the freeze frames in it and see how they get away with some of the color harmonies. And I say get away with because they do get away with it, right? Is genius, absolute masterclass in it, and there is certainly incredible examples of that. And that's where a lot of my colored inspiration came from in terms of that layering and able to use abstract color in my images. And again, I'll say it again, but color gels is really normal now, but when I was doing it 10-15 years ago, you got to remember that everybody would say it was absolutely ridiculous, and you're ruining those images by adding those colors to it. I know it seems normal now, but adding that abstract color that I was doing to my portraits at one point was crazy, you know. But beautiful shot, lad. Yeah, beautiful shot. We got one from John here. Nice. Orange Blue had a chance to experiment complementary colours. I used 2 bare TT600s with orange gels for edge and 8200 with Magrid, Magsphere and blue green. That's good, man. Yeah, you did well to get the quality of light out of the 8200s there, John. And I saw the post that you did on Facebook where you mentioned my name and using my images for inspiration. I certainly appreciate you. Nodding the original images my way, but these are excellent. Yeah, these are really good. And it's difficult to mix the orange and blue. And with the greatest respect, you've done excellent work with the tools that you have there, because those tools that you've got are not easy to use when you're trying to do what you do here, which is mixing complementary colors, which can wash each other out, and on a large figure, a human form. So you're using 2 bare TT600s, and a tiny little slot of light as well. So I think you've done remarkable work with the products that you had there. So this feedback that I give you here is pretending that you're not using that gear, right? And I know that the feedback that I'm going to give about like these blown highlights is a result of you using that gear. You cannot spread that light as much as you need to. So this is beautiful color here, right? Beautiful color here. We're kind of getting it here, but then it kind of blows out, and we start to, like, the image starts to break down here. Okay, and the same thing, we have this beautiful color here, not quite matched, but it's kind of this beautiful color, and then it's kind of blowing out, and we're losing all of this color here. Again, it's happening because of the products that you're using. But yeah, I think you've done really good work with the products that you had. Just one tip that you can kind of play with in the future is to maybe not use a black background. Just use, if I'm doing this, I always use dark gray. The images that I shared in the stream earlier on, they were using dark gray background, and it just helps to keep the hello, yeah. So you see here, it just helps to keep the background from just dropping off into pure pitch black. Okay, because I'm using, she's got styling on that has pure black elements in it. What happens when we do that is that if it's black behind her, the eye sees that as a hole in the image, and it kind of distorts depth, right? So if we're using black here and there's black behind her, our eyes kind of see through the image into the background, and it kind of breaks up that depth. So by using dark gray back here, we're able to allow some light to spill onto the background, and it enables us to keep the jet black elements of the styling or the hair or whatever it is. It helps to keep our subject off that background. Oh, here we go. Are we talking about the wax thing? Yeah, I'm gonna watch Ninja Scroll after stream. Like the OG Ninja Scroll, Jamie, like the proper one. That's so good. That one is so good. Yeah. I know the Dragon's Den guy screwed it. That's right, Dave. Yeah, he did, didn't he? That's right. I forgot he bought that. Yeah, and they kind of tried to reopen it, and just it didn't happen. Yeah, they're doing a ton of gradient and goes from color A to color B and black to color A, just A and B. Yeah. So this one here then from Jamie. So someone who shall remain nameless took your tutorial on LED tube lights, had a test and wasn't happy, did another shoot for a client but got an additional 2 tubes for a total of 6 and did this. This is great, Jamie. This is really good. Placement of the tubes is bloody terrible. I need to invest in haze juice for me to smoke machine because what I've got now is dense and disperses too quickly. Okay, yeah, exactly the same settings from your tutorial. Nice. Also tweak Lightroom preset from Expert. Oh, nice. That is great, man. Jamie, this is brilliant, man. This is really good stuff. Yeah, absolutely, really, really good. Love the glow that you've got here. And I mean, how fucking cool does this shiny outfit look with these tubes, man? Right? I mean, it's the perfect lighting for an outfit like this. So cool. Yeah, absolutely bang on, man. Really, really good. Really, really good. A little bit of separation here, which is nice. Just keeping them separate. Love that. Nice retouching the veins and stuff on the hands. I know it seems simple enough, but a lot of people forget that. Nice glow. And this is, I mean, this looks illustrated. It's absolutely gorgeous, mate. How long did that take to retouch that? Or did you just polish the living hell out of this outfit before she put it on? Really good, man. Really, really good stuff. Yeah, I love it. Love it. And this is, I know I saw a couple of the tests and that sort of thing, but this is bang on, man. Yeah, really, really good. Nailed it. And it's great to hear that you use that preset from the Christmas stream. That's good, man. It's good stuff. Yeah. Yeah, the OG, yeah. Yeah, good stuff, buddy. Yeah, you must be happy with these, right? Yeah, brilliant. So, you were talking about there about the smoke machine and the haze and that sort of thing, and it is a problem. You do kind of need, and you can buy different levels of juice if you like. So it's worth looking at that as well. So you can put a variety of juices through the machine that you have. You don't necessarily need to get a different machine. You can get different levels of juice that will give you varying looks as well. But this is looking great. Yeah, love that glow. Really, really cool. Nailed it. So the only thing here, and you kind of mentioned it as well, is going to be the positioning, right? You said the positioning of the tubes, the placement of the tubes I'm bloody terrible at. So yeah, you kind of want to, I mean, it's kind of difficult because you're stuck between doing what I do, which is to actively have the stands in shot and make that part of the image, and that enables you to have a stronger sense of depth in the shot by angling the tubes more, bringing you in like that. But it kind of only really works when they're at a really strong angle. But yeah, worth playing with for sure. Yeah. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. Yeah, the OG Ninja Scroll. Yeah, brilliant. Too, as I retouched the crap out of the material to give it a signature shine. I can appreciate that because I've had to do it, and I know how much work that is because that looks illustrated. It's beautiful. Yeah, I believe it. I know about fog juices, mainly glycerin and water, and you can get vegetable glycerin, dilute however you want. It's distilled water. Okay, I haven't tried that. Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, did it on the original shoot with the C stands like you, and just tried it out on this. Yeah. I mean, I think when you got something like this, I think it could have worked, but I think what you've done here works just as well. Because you don't want these big metal stands to kind of detract, right? On mine, there's more skin, so it's not quite as contrasty as this. So I think, had you used the stands here, they may have overpowered the outfit. So I think you probably made the right call. Yeah. Good stuff. It's great seeing these images come to life. So Chris here, just one light used for this one, blue rotor light to the left and orange light lamp on the table. There's one light used for this one, blue rotor light to the left and orange light is from the lamp on the table. That's pretty impressive, Chris. I actually thought you were just using that as a practical, so that's nuts. You were lighting her with just that one light, okay? And you're thinking about this background here. I know, so Chris and I went through the cinematic lighting workshop together, and we kind of, this is one of the setups that I kind of talk about in there, and he's kind of pared this down a little bit, but still really effective. And in the workshop I talk about using practicals to kind of have them in the shot. So a practical is a light that's in the image, and then kind of lighting the subject with something else. So with another light. So this would be on the table, and then you'd have like another orange light here shining in, and it would give the impression that she's being lit by it. So the reason we would do that is to kind of avoid this being so kind of overexposed, right? Because we want enough light on her, this has to be bright, and for this to be bright, it means it's kind of going to be overexposed. So that's really the only thing that I would comment there, is with this being so bright. So use this as a practical, so have this far lower in power, so that we just see the glow, and then just add another light coming in here to light her face. And then secondly, with this background, just thinking about the type of shot that we're trying to set up here with when we were kind of storyboarding it when we were talking with the workshop. We were saying about how this is her, in a hotel room with this kind of city behind her and that sort of thing. So with that in mind, maybe want to kind of defocus this image just a little bit more. So it's because she's, we got her in focus here, and then the curtains kind of going out of focus. We kind of want to defocus that image even more, maybe, so it just becomes more of a colored glow back there. Okay, so just soften up a little bit more. You haven't done the workshop, okay? Gotcha. I've done a bunch of the cinematic ones recently, Chris. I was trying to remember as I was talking about it then as to what we've said and what we haven't said. I know we have done bits, but yeah. So here we just want to kind of defocus this a little bit more, if that makes sense. Yeah. Original shoot with C-stands. Yeah. It's why I got the 2 extra tubes to put a bit more light into it. Oh, especially with the reflections as well. Yeah. I must do it. Yeah, no worries, Chris. No worries. This is really good. This is really good. Don't get me wrong. If you haven't done it, which you're saying you haven't done it. But yeah, this is kind of one of the things that we kind of talk about in it, is to try and avoid things like this, right? So that we would have this light, and we would expose the scene for this light so that it's like a nice warm glow, but obviously that wouldn't give enough illumination to her. So this would be a case where we bring in another light. But I love what you're doing with the colors here. I think it's worked out really, really nicely, and I think it's great for you in terms of a learning exercise to kind of look at an image and try and break it down. Like one of my images, for example, looking at it, try and break it down, replicating it, and then you learn things as you're going along, right? You learn things as you're kind of trying to replicate it, and then if you were to replicate it again, I'm sure there's bits that you would adjust and that sort of thing. So I think it's always a useful exercise. Yeah. I can't do the workshop. I went onto the Rotolight sale. Oh, did you? Yeah. Did you buy some Rotolights? Yeah, nice. I forgot they had that sale. Yeah. What did you get, Jamie? Yeah, what did you get? All right then, guys. Well, Chris inadvertently segued into me self-promoting my mentoring and workshops, so I'm not going to miss that opportunity. I know we have done some mentoring with Chris and that sort of thing, but I've done some workshops with many of you as well. So I'm just going to pop these in here, check those out. And these are one-to-one sessions with me. Whether we either do, with the mentoring, it's going to be looking at your work, targeting your work, and how do we want to improve it, where do we want to get it to, things like that. And then the workshops are going to be more targeted at specific styles of lighting, so like the cinematic one we were just talking about, right? So this is kind of the shot that Chris was playing with here. You got the gels, like how to work with some of these bolder colors in small spaces, and by small spaces I mean not only home studios but on the actual body as well. How do we get these rich colors in small spaces like this? And the projector one, doing the projector one on Friday with somebody, so that'd be good. This is kind of more graphic and design elements with what we can do with projectors. This one here is creatively simple lighting one. This is a softer colors, right? So how can we kind of soften some of the colors? And it's not quite as easy as just using pastel gels, for example. We need to adjust the modifiers that we're using and how we're using them to get some of these softer lights. And then working in small spaces, so big studio lighting in small spaces. How can we use or get creative, multiple light setups in a living room, for example? How do we do that? And this workshop goes through some of the ways that we can kind of adapt or modify certain looks from larger modifiers to kind of create them in a smaller space. So, and then of course the long exposure one. I did the long exposure one on Saturday, I think, which was kind of fun with somebody. Light painting, it's always fun. But yeah, so that's that one. Check those out. So yeah, I think we are done. That was everybody's images. I didn't think I missed any there, right? We saw everybody's. Let's just double check. I don't think we had anybody post late or anything like that. Yeah. Jamie says you bought 2 EOSs and 2 Neos. Nice. Thank you, Chris. It's very kind. Chris says highly worth it. It was beyond my expectation. Thank you, Chris. I really appreciate that, mate. Yeah. Glad to hear you found it useful. I'll just double check. We haven't missed any here. Yeah, all good, man. All good. Yeah, I mean, great images. Good selection today as well. Really good, really good. And thank you for you guys that posted images. Like I said at the start, like it takes nerve to put your images out there, and everybody to have a look and have some feedback. So I respect each and every one of you for putting them out there and putting yourselves through that. We are done then, guys. Let me just find that just under 3 hours. But yeah, it's been a pleasure. And any questions, as always, you can catch me on either on Instagram or Facebook. But otherwise, we can do this again in another couple of weeks. All right, then, guys. Stay safe till then. Take care.